And welcome back to another episode of Ancient Echoes, man. It has been a while. We have had a lot of amazing things going on, a lot of crazy news that's hitting us every day. It's so hard to even keep up with it, man. And that's kind of the point of today's episode, dude. We're going to be looking at the whole first month of Donald Trump in office, 2025. And I got to tell you, man, I'm really excited to be going over this because the news is coming in so fast. Sometimes it's hard to remember what happened, bro. But anyway, my name is Bronson. My brother's name is Austin. And tonight, man, we're going to have a fantastic show. I'm really excited about it. Without any more impediment taking up your time, Austin, bro, how are you doing today, man? It's so good to see you.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Every once in a while we do one of these current event and political kind of shows, news, current event type of things, and this is going to be one of those shows. We're going to be going over some of the things that Trump has done in his first month in office, some of the good, some of the bad, and some of the things we'll have to see. Bronson, how have you been, man? You've got some big news and big stuff going on.
Oh yeah, man, we've been putting in a lot of work over here, bro. The baby's coming along. She's 12 weeks old now, so I've really kind of settling into this whole dad thing. I gotta tell you, man, it is one of the best things in the entire world. It makes a lot of sense, that Bible verse that talks about, I think it says something along the lines of the honor is to have children, but the glory of a man is grandchildren. There's just something so different when you have the baby. I'll tell you a quick story. We'll get into this stuff. I won't rant long, but I can do it all day. She recently got her first cold, and I get it now, bro. I get what parents go on about. I used to be like, whatever, man, they'll be all right, it's just a cold. But as soon as my wife called me, it was like, the baby's coughing and sneezing, I was like, stop the presses, call the CIA, I want NASA, I want the TSA, I want call Secret Service. It's just they're just so adorable, man, and it really puts into perspective the way that God might even look at us. They're just they can't do nothing for themselves, man. You gotta do everything for them, and they're just amazing, bro. I know I'm preaching to the choir because I know you got kids yourself, but it's new to me, and I gotta say, it's awesome. It's like the best thing ever. Yeah. So, but yeah,
Bronson,
man.
Let's go ahead and get into it tonight, man. We've got a video we want to go ahead and show, and I think this is a good visual representation of the current U.S. foreign policy going on right now.
Let's do it. Sounds good, bro. We'll full screen this thing. Poor Canada. That's what you get,
guys,
man.
We're recording it right now, and Canada and the U.S. are tied 2-2 in the rematch of this game. But man, I've never been so excited about hockey in my life. We're from the Southeast United States. Hockey's about, on our sports priority list, about 18th down the list. I didn't even know this tournament existed until last week.
And now I'm a lifelong fan.
That's my first 9 minutes of that last game, and I'm sold now. USA hockey, I'm with it.
Yeah, man. So that's what you get, bro. You boo the national anthem, man. We may disagree on food, politics, religion, whatever. You boo our national anthem, we all teaming up on you, man. It's just the way it goes over here, bro.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of being the 50. I'm not a fan of him being the 51st state. I don't know. How do you feel about it, Bronson?
My issue with it is honestly, it's the electoral side of everything. Like, what I don't much care for about it is that if we're gonna move into, how many electoral votes does that count for? You know what I'm saying? So like California's got
quite a few. It would, in my opinion, it would be like adding another California.
Times 2, maybe.
Canadians are, well, you gotta remember, man, they're a Commonwealth country. They're not the same. It's not the same type of spirit as the United States. And I like Canada. Don't get me wrong, but it's a Commonwealth. They don't have the same kind of like drive for freedom, or that like rebellious from big government spirit. You know what I mean? And I don't
Right.
mean spirit in the sense of like spiritually, but I mean just like the way we've been raised in school and you know the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence. We've it's drilled into us about the Revolution in 1776 and all that. So, and it's not the same in Canada.
Right.
It's not the same. And I got friends that are from Canada. It's just not quite the same, man. It's I'd just rather us be separate and friendly.
I agree. I agree with that.
That's
yeah.
the only thing.
They don't have that.
That's the only thing I want.
They don't have that Boston Tea Party in them, man. That's just not in there. You
That's
know.
exactly what I was trying to say. That
Yeah.
it's just not.
It's not the same
I just
heritage,
don't
man.
see it.
It's not the same
No.
thing. Yeah. No, I'm good on that.
Yeah, anybody that would elect Trudeau so many times is like, yeah, dude, do we really want to?
Yeah, exactly.
We
Right.
really want to give these. We really want to give these people a say in our politics. I'd rather not. You know what I mean? We can be friendly and trade wood and maple syrup and cars and whatever, but
Yep.
not. But no, I don't want to. I don't want to have another huge section of people to vote against.
I take their medicine. They got good Tylenol and stuff like that up there. Like, they've got some stronger stuff that we don't have.
Yeah, it's the codeine stuff.
I don't know. You know, our dad was a tour bus driver, so he would like go up to Canada and come back home, and he'd have all these pills. I'd have a headache. He'd be like, "Take you one of these, son." And just go to sleep.
Dad, why did I sleep for 18 hours? What was
you,
that? Yeah.
you don't have a headache, do you? You know?
Right.
So,
Well, let's get into this, man. What's the first section we have here?
you know what the first section is. This took over the internet forever, bro. This was a solid. To own the internet for over a week is quite a feat in 2025. But this is the
It really
USAID, man.
Yeah, so let's go over a few of these and just talk about them, man. So the first one says 1.5 million to advance diversity, equity, and inclusion in Serbia's workplaces and businesses.
Afuere.
Ministerio de Turismo y Deporte. Afuera.
Get rid of it.
Yeah,
Yeah, bro.
No, man. All right, so can you put me back on the screen? Let's get both of us on here. I'd like to talk about this.
Yeah, for sure.
USAID. It's not USAID. Okay. Bronson, do you know what the acronym stands for?
I don't.
All right, let's pull it up.
Oh, no. I didn't know that. Oh, this is just... Yeah, bro.
It's designed to make you think that it's for foreign aid because, you know, as Christians, we look at it like faith, hope, and charity. Charity is a big part of what we do. Yeah.
United States Agency for International Development, bro.
Yes.
That's trash.
Agency for International Development is what it is. It was a CIA slush fund that funded all kinds of groups all over the place. Funded like LGBTQ rights. It funded media groups. They found, I believe, $9 million that went to Politico, and I believe there was another like kind of back end way that they got even more than that. They're funding. I believe Reuters was another one that got tons of it. So we're talking about like the big newswire, international news agencies. This is the propaganda arm that we try to overthrow elections and influence elections. Soft power.
Right.
Just so everybody understands, I am more of an isolationist. I don't want to get into foreign entanglements, and as a United States citizen, if you look at our original documents, it was warning us not to get into foreign entanglements. And we have a $36 trillion deficit in this country. Not deficit, but debt. And that's because of foreign entanglements for the most part, and also funding all of these octopus groups is what I like to call them, the NGOs and the Soros group and the people that get involved in the media and stir up stuff. I mean, let's go back to the list. There's all kinds of stuff in here. So me being an isolationist, that I in that acronym, as soon as you see that international, burn it to the ground. It's not needed.
Right.
It's not.
Absolutely.
Not unless you're trying to run an empire and bankrupt us all and then have us living destitute. If you want a good quality of life here and you want good standing in the world, then we got to stop this.
Right. And I mean, the Christian in you can probably argue the point where it's like, well, if I was sending socks to people that were cold, maybe I wouldn't be so upset. But when we say 1.5 million to advance diversity and equity and inclusion, bro.
But in all seriousness, 1.5 million for that in Serbia's workplaces. So what they're trying to do there is, if I had to guess, because everything in USAID is labeled like the dog, the Helping Dogs and Cats Fund.
Right.
But what it really does is, like, yeah, it may help like 2 or 3 dogs or 2 or 3 cats, but it also was, $15 million. So about 100,000 went to help dogs and cats, and the rest of that went to, fund a color revolution and overthrow our government, like
exactly.
we did which started all this junk that's going on over there.
Exactly.
But all right, so let's look at this next one, just so now we know what it is. It's international soft power, and I recommend anybody to watch Mike Benz, any of his videos for years now. He's had a couple big interviews on Sean Ryan and Joe Rogan over the past couple weeks because this is blown up, and Mike Benz has been on it for a long time.
Mike Benz
He's been on this forever.
Forever.
Yeah.
Well, former State Department guy, and he uncovered all this bullshit while he was there. And he is insanely knowledgeable and insanely articulate and so good at expressing exactly how these things fund things.
All
Right.
right, so what's the next one? 7,000. You want to read that, Bronson?
Sure. Yeah, no, I got you. Yeah, we got $70,000 for production of a DEI musical in Ireland. Doesn't that sound like a good show? Doesn't that sound like when you want to go spend your tax dollars on while you're struggling to pay for milk and eggs and get your retirement fund hooked up? Let's put on a DEI musical in Ireland. No. The next one is 2.5 million for electric vehicles in Vietnam.
Okay.
Not
a huge fan of electric vehicles, especially with our grid the way it is. But if we're gonna spend that much on electric vehicles for somewhere, it better be here.
Right. Exactly. That's the problem with all this, man, is that like you already said, with all the money laundering and everything else, and like you said, the common man dying in the wars, the bureaucrats who are getting all their pockets lined, then you got the rest of us who are just the labor force, who are like these little hamsters running in the wheel, powering the whole thing. It's all powered off of our sweat equity. And most people are living, well, I shouldn't say most, but over 50% of Americans do live from paycheck to paycheck. And then you look at numbers like this, and I'm not gonna lie, I already told you about this privately a couple weeks ago, and this really popped off. I spent 2 days furious, man, steaming from the ears, just so mad, and just knowing, like, man, you guys robbed me, and you robbed all of my friends and neighbors, and it's very upsetting.
I want you to think back, if you know anybody that's elderly, especially during like the 2000, if you're American, during the 2008 crisis, think about all the people that lost their 401k.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know what your government thinks about you, all the people that lost all their money and all that stuff, they're sending this money everywhere. They bailed the banks out. The same people that lost all your money, they bailed them out. Stole it, the subprime lending and the housing crisis and everything else that came from it. I mean, and then we got hit with a little inflation then too, because of that huge omnibus bill they passed.
That was a bad time.
It led to like a lot of what we're going through right now. People were, I won't get into the Obama situation because that was just a huge psyop. But let's get into the next one. But it infuriated me too, man. I've known that how it was. I just didn't know the actual structure, and seeing it listed out like this and day after day after day. It's just like, man, please, if you're gonna keep listing this stuff, I'm getting really upset. If you're gonna list this stuff, then I want to see somebody arrested behind
it. That's what I want to see. Something's got to happen, man.
Dude, we're talking about billions of dollars you're stealing from your country, man. I mean, how I don't know if you could be lower. I mean, people that need money can't get it.
Exactly.
And people that need help can't get it. But we're busy buying off the rest of the world and trying to spread the gay over every continent. Right. I mean, look at some of this stuff, man. I mean, it's like transgender surgeries in Colombia. It's like, I don't want to pay for this degeneracy in my own country, let alone in somebody else's. Why is this our export? Why are we exporting this garbage?
Right.
Why are we exporting mental illness all around the world? Like,
sex changes in Guatemala, man.
Why are we, in Africa, they're plagued with AIDS and all kinds of stuff. Why are we promoting homosexuality in the biggest hotspot of HIV in the entire world?
Right.
This is absolutely just heinous, like anti-human degeneracy that we're funding to the tune of billions of dollars, man.
That's what sucked the most. I mean, there's a lot of things, like what you said, like you knew it was happening, but you didn't know. Like I compared it to my wife. I told her it's like imagine you had a suspicion that I was cheating on you, and you knew, but you didn't know. But then you didn't just find out; you got all the evidence. It breaks your heart, bro. You see it, and you're like, oh my god, I've never wanted to be so wrong in my life, bro. But you look at it, and you see all this money and all these things going out into everything. And you should look at North Carolina, flooded down, you know what I'm saying, from the hurricane. You look at LA, caught on fire. Hawaii caught on fire. And
we didn't have FEMA money. We didn't have FEMA money because people can hate it all they want or kill me in the comments because they gave it to illegal migrants. It's not me saying it. It's not me saying it. It was Corinne Jean-Pierre had talked about it. Mayorkas had talked about it, how they were moving the funds over there for FEMA funds. So it's not me saying it; that's them saying it.
Right.
That was the administration at the time saying it. That's what they were doing. And then when North Carolina hit, they had no money.
Right.
FEMA was out of money. Remember, guys?
People still
because
live
they were
in tents.
taking care of people that weren't citizens. And people think that Americans are getting cruel now. No, it has nothing to do with being cruel. If we can't even take care of ourselves, and people have been flooded out for months, or still living in tents in the freezing cold. It just snowed here today twice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If we can't take care of ourselves, we have no business, spending millions of dollars to go teach people in Uganda about, LGBTQ rights.
Right. Exactly right.
I mean, we have no business doing any of this garbage if we can't take care of ourselves. How are we supposed to help the world if we can't help ourselves?
Exactly right, bro. Well said. You look at some of these numbers: 6 million to fund tourism in Egypt. I mean,
hold on 1 second. That was one that made me super angry, bro.
Really? Why? Why?
Why?
Yeah. Why that one above all?
Why would Egypt need help with tourism? They have the pyramids and the Sphinx, bro. They don't need any help with tourism. Like the one place in the world that doesn't need help with tourism. I mean, it's like that would be like the equivalent of you're writing a check for $10 billion to Disneyland to help improve people coming there. It's like they already come there. Like
that's a good point.
It's not ever trying to help tourism in Kazakhstan or anything like that. No, it's Egypt, bro. That's on anybody who likes history. That's on everybody's bucket list. Everybody wants to go to freaking Egypt.
That's a really good point.
Go look up tours to Egypt. Go try and get a tour to the Great Pyramid. See what the waiting list is like. We're spending $6 million in Egypt for tourism? What?
Oh god, I'm crying. That's funny.
I mean, we're gonna help Egypt out. You know what I mean? If that's what we're gonna do for some charity or something like that, it doesn't need to be for tourism. They're okay.
Yeah,
bro, that got away with me.
That's really funny. The next one says it's a $500,000. This one kind of messed me up. Honestly, from a Christian standpoint, a lot of this messed me up. $500,000 to promote atheism in Nepal. And that's what kills me, bro. It's like, I don't like the fact that my money is going to do things that I don't find to be in line with my Christian faith. That, you know what I mean?
That's the thing is you talk about what we should do as Christians, and it says render unto Caesar what is Caesar's. But if it comes down to it, man, if what the nation's law goes against the law of God, so basically what we're doing is we're having our tax money given to evangelists of any god.
Yeah, exactly.
We're funding missionaries to teach people to hate God, basically.
Exactly. That's not right.
And that goes completely against our religion, and that type of stuff right there makes you want to go on a tax strike.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's insane. All right, what's the next one, man?
All right, let's see. Hundreds of thousands of dollars for a nonprofit linked to designated terrorist organizations, even after an inspector general launched an investigation. I'm sure everybody by now, you've seen the meme of the terrorists who are standing in the USAID tent. So That's awesome. One thing that's tied to that I don't see on this list currently was that we were helping some of their largest crops being grown over in China, and we all know what they grow over there, man, is poppy. We were doing the opium, and that just killed me, bro.
Oh, dude, that was in Afghanistan.
Oh, it was Afghanistan. Oh, dude, that killed me, man.
Definitely where they grow up. Yeah, that was Afghanistan. Yeah, we all know what that's for. Yeah, that's to ship heroin over here.
To kill our friends and family. Yeah.
Yeah, and the money that they could make off that goes into the CIA black budget to fund other horrible things like Wuhan labs and
Yep, and that's the next one on the list is 1 million to the EcoHealth Alliance, which was involved in research at the Wuhan lab. Isn't that just insane? Like we funded the COVID virus, we funded the COVID vaccine. So not only did we fund the virus you used to kill us, then we funded the vaccine you used to kill us. It's like you're robbing. It's like the greatest con I've ever seen, man. It's just ridiculous, bro.
Yeah.
It's insane. $20,000 drag show in Ecuador.
Afuera.
That seems kind of cheap, I'm not gonna lie. 520 million for consultant-driven ESG investments in Africa. Funding to prevent personalized contraceptive birth control devices in developing countries. I mean, how are they supposed to develop if they can't have babies? Hundreds of millions of dollars to fund irrigation canals, farming equipment, and even fertilizer. Let me open up this page real quick. And even fertilizer... used to support the unprecedented, here it is, poppy cultivation and heroin production in Afghanistan. That's unbelievable. That one made me so mad. I mean, everybody I know knows somebody that's died from that.
Yeah, but dude, you don't know how many people in my generation. I'm 36. How many friends I have that were over there and are mad as hell.
Right.
And completely anti-war right now because they spent a majority of their time in Afghanistan guarding poppy fields.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? You go into the military to, serve your country and everything else, and then you find out, oh man, I'm here for a money laundering scheme and to help these guys, protect their heroin product.
Right.
It's like, what is going on, man? What is going on? Yeah.
It is insane. $2 million promoting tourism in Lebanon. Excuse me. 20 million for Sesame Street show in Iraq. That's an expensive show. Sending Ukrainians. Go ahead.
That's one that everybody's been talking about. It's just insane.
Yeah, it's just silly, bro. Sending Ukrainians to Paris Fashion Week. All right. 9 million to feed Syrians ended up in terrorist hands. Hundreds of thousands of meals that went to Al-Qaeda affiliated fighters. So just on this list, and this is not the whole list. This is just kind of like a highlight. Like this is just the one everybody was talking about. There's still shrimp on a treadmill. There's still all sorts of stuff out there. You know what I mean? But just this one's got 1.2 billion.
Hey, while we're doing this, I know we forgot to pull up the Freedom Tunes video. Can we go ahead and just watch that a little bit?
Oh, that's right.
Let's pull that up and let everybody. This is. It's a little bit overblown, but not much.
Yeah,
not
bro.
much at all.
We've discovered some incredible abuses of the budget. I mean, really, where are you getting off with these insane expenditures? $10 million spent on body positivity for Haitians in captivity. $8 million on glitter bombs for Saudi Arabian imams. And $9 million on chocolate fondue for East Ukrainian Hebrews.
They have just as much a right to chocolate fondue as anyone, you Nazi!
Well, I'm sorry, but it has to be cut.
No! If you cut $10 million from the CFEUH budget, what's next? Cutting our $3 million budget to give free McFlurries to Pakistani furries?
Well, now that you bring it up...
Oh, come on!
Oh, wow. That's, no, we're definitely cutting that.
This is insanity. You're letting our budget get cut by literal babies!
Because even an infant can balance these books better than you. I mean, come on, people, come on. 50 million taxpayer dollars for Kool-Aid water fountains for North Korean accountants. Abortion on demand for pandas in Japan. 1,000 packs of Smarties for Iraqi slumber parties.
If you touch any of the Iraqi slumber party budgets, I will shoot you myself.
I'm sorry, but it has to go.
This is clearly a slippery slope to canceling our program to destigmatize marijuana for Latinx folks in Uganda.
Your budget for that is $9 million, and frankly, I think you can do it for 8.
You genocidal freak!
You also definitely need to cut
Please not. Saucy male dancers for Australians with colon cancer. No!
Yes, well, we're at it. We're going to trim. Teaching Zodiac for a more gender-fluid Iraq. A high-speed train for hermaphrodites in Ukraine. Welfare benefits for Aboriginal feminists. And the $12 million you're spending on sex changes for polar bears. This just says sex changes for polar bears. It doesn't even rhyme.
It didn't need to rhyme. It was important enough that it didn't need to rhyme.
The only program left in my department is $12 million to buy IUDs for corgis and police.
Yeah, we're going to reduce that. And one more thing. I really think we need to be spending at most half as much as we currently are on easy bake ovens for Saudi Arabian covens.
I don't want to live. I don't want to live. I don't want to live.
Don't do it. You have so much to live for.
Like what?
If it's promoting alternative fuels to Afghani polycules, I have bad news for you. Oh, and lastly, we cut all funding for free handgun ammunition for all USAID positions.
Yes, bro.
Okay.
Though that may be satirical, in a lot of ways, it's really not. Like, that's the way they responded to all of that stuff, bro. It's just insane. Like,
Oh, the response to it was very telling, man.
oh, they
It's
were
like-
they were angry. It's insane.
Yeah, it just how dare you is basically how the cartoons are at. How dare you stop our money laundering scheme for all this junk everywhere? It's just it makes no sense.
Oh man, I heard somebody say it's like you guys are acting real insurrection-y right now. You know, the way they were trying to walk into the building and take their jobs back and tell you, Elon, you can't do this. It's like y'all acting real insurrection-y right now, trying to tell the government not to do it.
Well, we can't keep doing this, man.
Right.
It's not gonna. It's just not gonna end well. The bubble's already popped, and I wouldn't be
Right.
surprised if we had a financial downturn in the very near future, just because of the spending habits over the last century. It's not sustainable, and it hasn't been sustainable. What we're doing right now can soften the blow a little bit, but 36 trillion, man.
Yeah. No, it's scorched earth. This isn't light. Like, this is
Now-
not a light game.
We have in assets a ton of assets.
Sure.
I mean, a little over half of what our debt is, or double what our debt is, we have in assets. So we do have a lot of assets.
Is that right?
So
Is it double
it's
our
not-
debt? Is that right?
What I believe we have something like between 72 or 76 trillion dollars in assets. I could be wrong in that.
I didn't know that.
quote me.
Okay.
We know in the comments, guys, what it is if I'm wrong, but
Okay.
this is what I was saying. Yeah, so we do have that, but that debt is just not. It's not sustainable,
Right.
and this spending level is not sustainable. If any of you guys have looked at the national debt clock, it's scary, man.
It is.
Just watching it fly out the window. And if we can just slow that down a little bit and then just reverse it some, that would be fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Just start getting the pendulum.
Do we have
to swing
anything
the
else
other
on
way.
that list that you want to cover before we move on?
No, that was it. I mean, again, shrimp on a treadmill. There was a state-of-the-art pancake machine in the Pentagon that was about $1.2 million. There's just all sorts of it's insane, man. It's just it's nonsensical. It's BS
Yeah.
is what it is. Nobody spends, dude. If you want a really nice pancake machine, if you spent over $300 on a pancake maker, you got gypped on your deal, bro. I can't imagine how nice your pancake machine is if it's more than $300. That's just crazy. So I don't believe it. You know what I mean? And I don't think most of the American people, I don't think they really buy it either. Where did it really go? It didn't go to a
I'll
pancake
tell you,
maker.
man, my pancake machine has cost me a lot of money, dude. A lot. Her name's Jessica, and man, that's the thing. All right,
That's hilarious. So our
right,
next
so-
section for Doge, man, is this one. At this point, it's like nothing shocks you.
Before we start, real quick, we're getting to other things too, executive orders and appointments and different things that have gone on with foreign policy. This is just the USAID section, so we're getting there, guys. I know it's been a whole lot going on. The Trump team has been moving at light speed. Whether you like that or don't like that, he's been doing it. So it's a lot to cover. We're going to get to it.
Yeah, and this isn't like a pro-Trump video either. We got a couple things that we've got issues with as well that's coming up. So don't think that this is a bunch of bias here. So this comes from Rapid Response 47. It says the team at Doge has uncovered that millions of people are on the Social Security rolls who are no longer alive. Hold on, let me read that again. Millions of people are on the Social Security rolls who are no longer alive. From 120 to 29, 130 to 39, 140 to 149 years old. And this is all the people that are up there. Then this is kind of Donald Trump's take on the matter real quick.
But look at this, from 90 to 99, Social Security, 6,054,000 people. Well, that's okay, maybe that's possible. 90 to 99, maybe it's possible. It's a lot of people, though, at that. But people that live to 100 to 109, 4,734,000. Wow, that's a lot. That means over 100 years old. They have 4 million people? I don't know.
No way.
I don't know too many. I know people that are doing great in their 90s, but not too many people over 100. But over 120, from 120 years old, people that are 120 years old up to 129, 3,472,000 people. Wow. That can't possibly be because the record.
You said stop?
I said nah, bro.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no. Yeah, no.
It is like, I think it's one person, a woman, lived to 127, but they have 3,472. Okay, but now we're going really in. People from 130 years old to 139-year-old, 3,936,000. Wow. I wonder if people are getting paid with all this. I mean, are these checks? And that's what we're checking right now. People from 140 years old to 149 years old, 3,542,000, 140 years old and beyond. Now we're really going because we're looking to break the record by 25 years. People from 150 years old to 159 years old.
Wow.
1,345,000. These are by the way, these are in the computer files. This is what they do well. They're super. I asked Elon, who are these Doge people? He said they're super brilliant computer people and they love the country. It's simple. Wait a minute. People from 160 years old to 169 years, 121,000. So 160-year-old people. 170 to 179,000, 6,087. But now, let's go into the real numbers. From 200 to 209 years old.
Jeez.
879 people. From 210 years old, I haven't met any of them. And if I did, I would bless them. I would worship the ground they walk on. 210 to 219 years, 866. From 220 years old to 229 years old, 1,039. And then you have two people. From 240 years old to 249 years old, one person. And there's one person that's 360 years old.
Mm.
Oh.
That's just that.
That's just that.
360 years old. That is literally Uncle Sam.
Yeah, bro. That's insane, bro. We're getting up into biblical era of ages here, man. That's insane.
Yeah, 300 years old, man. You know what? Tell you what. Everybody from 129 to 299 years old needs to be cut out of the system. I say just leave the 300-year-old for old time's sake.
It's tradition.
Yeah, just tradition. Leave him in there.
That is so funny, bro. It's wild, man. I mean, like, I don't even know how you can justify that. How are these people paying Social Security? They're dead. Like,
Now, I'll say that there's a meme floating around on X that says that it's something to do with the way that the coding is in the software. That if something is keyed in wrong, that it will say that it'll go back to the original year of Social Security or something. But even with the numbers don't match up, like, you know, it just doesn't match up.
Yeah, that's weird. I'm not going to pretend to understand it. I've never ran a government before, but it still sounds kind of odd. I don't know why you would have the system set that in like a default setting.
Well, and then the guy posts, I've seen it several times, but the guy posts was like, "Oh, Elon Musk is so dumb." It's like, all right, bro, okay, like you're leading with like your purpose that Elon Musk is dumb. It's like, you don't have to like the guy. You can think stuff he does is evil. I know, I do, and Neuralink is I have nothing to do with that stuff. AI, I think, is absolutely horrible.
Baphomet costumes.
I know it's being doubted. It's the next wave, and it looks like everybody's bought it, and it's not stopping. But I saw Terminator 2, bro. I'm good. You can keep that.
No way. Yeah, I'm good on that.
I want to keep all of our manufacturing jobs as humans working manufacturing jobs. It's cool to have help and industrialism, and even like a low grade AI to help out, you know, with certain things. But I don't want to go very far because it's not going to do anything but replace humans and make us more expendable to the elites. And there won't always be a Donald Trump in power that, even though he's an egomaniac, he wants to be remembered as someone that was great and loved because of his egomania.
Right.
That's you can hate him for it or whatever, but that's a plus if you're an American. Like, he is not refusing to lose and just cannot see himself as that, and will do anything however he can to make himself loved. He's shooting for Mount Rushmore. I've said it before. He's shooting for Mount Rushmore.
Right.
That works in our favor.
Yeah.
Just flat out, it does.
Yeah.
Works in our favor.
Yeah. he was saying it earlier
For the
today.
most part, the AI junk, I'm not a fan of that at all.
Right.
I don't like that.
I was checking something earlier today. We didn't put it on this episode because this is something that came out not too long ago. It was very recent. We were talking about all of the fixings of the cutting that comes from Doge. 20% he intends to send back to the American people. 20% to go to the debt. Yeah, we'll see. And then the 60% is going to be used as like a rollover for the next fiscal year. So it's like a savings account for America. And I like that type of stuff, man. But there's still a lot more money that can still come out from everything. You know what I mean? Like, we still haven't got into the military. We still haven't had the IRS thing.
That's the one that you want to start talking about. People getting mad. Wait till they go to the Pentagon, the DOD, and oh man, just wait till that happens, because they haven't passed the audit. Like, they failed the last 7. And
yeah, I know it was around there. Yeah.
Did you see with Jon Stewart with that lady from the Pentagon, and she was trying to say, "Oh, we failed that. We don't run over this money." Because that's not like waste or fraud. It's like, what? Even Jon Stewart, like, what?
That's
so
crazy.
We gave you money. You don't know where it is, and you don't think that's waste.
Right.
I think that's waste
That's
if you
waste.
don't have it. And this is liberal Jon Stewart, absolutely anti-Trump Jon Stewart talking to this lady. Like,
the fact that the DOD has not passed on it is not suggestive of waste, fraud, and abuse. We don't have an accurate inventory that we can pull up of what we have where.
So, in my world, that's waste.
what do you mean that's not waste? You don't know where the money is.
Right.
And, you know, if you're old enough to remember the day before 9/11, you remember, was it $3 trillion that just went missing for the Pentagon the day before?
Gone.
Conveniently out of there.
Right. Exactly.
Audit the Pentagon, audit the DOD, audit the Fed, nationalize the Fed. Let's go ahead and get this thing going. No more of this junk. No more.
It's gonna be wild, man.
No more being associated with central banks either. Like, none of that.
No, I
none
agree.
Nationalize the Fed. Let's go ahead and get this thing going, man. No more of this.
I think it's gonna be. Sorry.
What's that?
No, you're cool. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, man, we may lose our empire or whatever.
Right.
But with the terrorists and manufacturing coming here, we don't need an empire. We have enough land here. We have enough in the Western Hemisphere that we can control and maintain, and enough resources. Stop with the foreign entanglements.
Yeah.
Stop killing best of our youth. Stop, dropping $1 million bombs with $20 tents. Stop the madness. Just stop it.
I agree, man.
I will say, man, this is taking steps towards that, which is good. If we can stop killing people, we can stop massacring Christians around the world. If we could get a little bit of relief from doing that, like we did everywhere else, and you can look that up. I'm not just anti-American. No, look at who got hurt the most in Iraq. Look it up. It's a fact. Look who suffered the most in Syria. Look up the Armenians right now. I mean, that's who gets hurt the most in this stuff, man.
Yeah.
And if we could stop that, that would be the best.
On the bright side, I do think that a part of that whole 20% that he's, if you want to call it a bribe or whatever, he's talking about giving it back to the American people. Part of what his speech entailed was that this will incentivize Americans and researchers and YouTubers and journalists out there to put their own hand in it.
More.
Yeah.
By doing this, Americans will tell us where there's waste. They'll be reporting it themselves. They participate in the process of saving money.
And so that is a good thing, in my opinion, is that he is, like you said, aiming for Mount Rushmore on Mars. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like the people that are here, the Ancient Echoes and all the other even much larger channels and people, they're now incentivized to find more waste and find more fraud. And it's pretty neat. Like, if you're on X and Twitter, like if you're not, I highly recommend getting on there. That you can see it's not uncommon for Elon Musk to just talk to people. You add them in one of your statuses and be like, hey dude, what's up with this?
Let's talk about something that happened that way.
Yeah.
And it's something about to happen right now. There's an account called Zero Hedge, and Zero Hedge used to, I'm sure you remember, they hosted a lot of debates and difficult discussions and try to be like a neutral party, and they'd have it on their YouTube channel, I guess website too.
Okay.
But they said the other day, they tagged Elon Musk and said, Elon Musk, and matter of fact, let's pull this up and show the people.
Sure.
Zero Hedge tagged Elon Musk and asked him to audit Fort Knox.
Oh yeah, I saw this. Yeah.
And that's where this has come from.
It would be great if Elon Musk could take a look inside Fort Knox just to make sure. Yeah, look at that. It's 81 likes. And eventually, here it is.
Yeah,
surely it's reviewed at least every year. It should be. It isn't. This is it.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, man. Yeah. It's cool.
Yeah.
There is incentive for the American people to get involved in this type of stuff. And so, if you want a fatter check out of that 20%, that's the pitch. You know what I'm saying? We'll see if it really comes through or not. I don't know.
The biggest thing is for everybody to make their voice heard, for them to release all the documents, all the information, and everything else. Because if they need our help, then send it out.
Yeah,
send it out. The internet sleuths will figure it out. Me and Bronson will be on there trying to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Put it out in a big document with a search bar, and we can search keywords.
Right.
And we'll just dive in. We'll start diving all in it.
Oh yeah.
Put everything out.
The 4chan trolls, everybody. It's impossible to hide it these days, bro. I mean,
if you want to know something, give it to the people. We'll figure it out.
Oh yeah. No, we're angry. Angrier than we've ever been, man. I found out you robbed me of so much money and sent it to do a underwater pupper show for trans mermaids. You know what I'm saying? Like,
they were giving it to the University of Bangladesh for underwater lesbian basket weaving.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, bro. It's like,
it's awful. Yeah. It's just like, think of the most,
the dumbest
dumbest thing. Yeah, I was trying to think of an appropriate word to use. I thought I had a bunch of them, but none of them were appropriate. The most backward thing that you could possibly do. Just come up, just throw it against the wall, and you'll find we're paying millions of dollars to someplace over the ocean for this.
Right. It's unbelievable. Awesome, the good thing is at least they're cutting it, and they are firing it, and they are exposing it. And when it comes to the head of the Social Security guy right here, this is a video of Donald Trump talking about how his resignation.
The lady. Yeah. It's a lady.
Yeah. Oh, it is a lady. The head of Social Security resigned. What is your reaction?
Who resigned? I don't know. I mean, I resigned or got fired. I think got fired. When you fire somebody, they always resign, and then they say, we resigned. But when you have numbers like that, I think really it's got fired. They have to get fired. Who would keep them? How could you have numbers like this? Now the big thing is, how many of these people got paid? Were they getting paid? Were they getting paid? How many of them were getting paid Social Security? Because if that's the case, it's a massive fraud.
Yes, it is a massive fraud. Exactly right. It's insane.
Yeah.
Speaking of fraud.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious, man. This is just crazy right here. So this is USAID money coming through, and somehow or another it found itself into the pockets of Chelsea Clinton. Now this is all over the internet. This is not like something that's really hard to find, but you can see all the numbers, all the foundations, the nonprofit organizations that it all went through. You know how the Clintons get down, man. I mean, this comes straight out of their playbook. It's nothing new, but it totally.
Do you know who helped them? Who was the architect of the Clinton Foundation?
I do, but I can't remember who that is. I know this answer actually. Who is it?
That would be Jeffrey Epstein.
He is a sick puppy.
Yeah, I knew that. Yeah.
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 They're just tied to the scummiest people all around the world. I mean, the complete scumbags.
It's insane, man.
Yeah, and the next video we have on here that's lined up is Ian Carroll, and it's a long video, but yeah, if we can read some of the text.
Yeah, this basically sums it up, where he's just looking at the USAID stuff, and he found a certain company that no one's ever heard of. Nobody knows what it is, but to sum it up, it says this is the deep state. It's been being built over the last 20 years, ever since Bill Clinton's time, and even before. Even out of these proxy companies, these non-government organizations, these charitable organizations, all these shadow kind of organizations that you don't know about, that we don't elect, that are some of them private, some of them public, all of them in the shadows, just wheeling and dealing billions and billions of dollars to taxpayer money that just goes into the black box of aid and then never heard from again. They said, oh, and Pfizer is the second largest recipient of USAID. But
hey, can we go up? Just let them see the title of that post so
yeah,
they can
for
find
sure.
it for them.
Yeah, I'd highly recommend checking this out, man, because one of the companies he finds, he's able to tie to Hillary Clinton, John Podesta. If you know, you know. And it's very interesting that this is the post that really did it in for me, if I'm gonna be honest with you. This is the post that actually put me in tears, to know that there's a chance that my blood, sweat, and work equity went to go fund something that had Podesta's hands on it. That made me so sad that I paid for that.
Ian says roughly 93% of USAID funding is estimated to be fraud.
Yeah. There you go.
And like I said, go watch. There's 2 Joe Rogan interviews with Mike Benz. They're in the past. The first one I think was like a month and a half ago or so, and then the last one was like a week ago. Go watch those. Watch some of Mike Benz's appearances on the Benny Johnson, the one on Sean Ryan. Like, go check out Mike Benz's live streams. Like, look through the documents with him. Like, really dive into it, because it's so much here. We can't even do it justice. I mean, not even close.
Exactly.
So, if you want to know more about it, go check it out for sure. And if you want to talk more about it, we'll do one and just make a big list of everything we can find on USAID. But there's so much more to get into.
Oh yeah,
like I said, Trump's been moving so fast.
It is, man.
Okay.
It is. We've been in recording for just under an hour now, and we are just now starting to get into foreign policy. That's just how much there is to talk about with USAID. But this here is. This is legit right here, man. Honestly, I think you would do a much better job of explaining to people how awesome this is, of JD Vance going over to the EU and just laying the hammer down, man.
Well, I'm sorry to certain people that are going to feel a certain way from a certain continent called Europe, but your leaders there in the UK and in Germany, especially Western Europe, not really Eastern Europe, they seem to be actually got their stuff together. It's funny when you live under communism how propaganda doesn't permeate quite as bad, because you've built up a tolerance to it. The people in Britain and France and Germany and the Scandinavian countries, they don't have any tolerance to it. I mean, anything like a portion of their population, just like our population. Some people here can't see it.
Right.
I mean, how many people do you see online complaining that we're cutting things from USAID? Like, who cares?
Right.
Oh, you might cut somebody you need. Okay, hire him back.
Right. Not a big deal.
Pretty simple.
Yeah. Not a big deal, bro.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, oh, to cut the guys at the nuclear place, they were hired back like 30 seconds later.
Yeah.
And they didn't hire back the people they didn't need.
It's very simple. And look, it sucks. Like, I get it. It sucks to lose your job. You know what I mean? Nobody likes that. It's not a good thing.
Look,
but
man,
the problem.
These people work for the government, and these people that they're cutting and stuff, it's the same people that told guys like me and you to learn to code as they were stealing our money through USAID, stealing our money through taxation, stealing our money through inflation. They were stealing all this type of stuff. And guys like me had a baby that was just born, and all my jobs were gone. I had to go work at restaurants for half the amount of money I was making and build myself back up. And they told you, learn to code. Well, guess what, guys? I don't care about your federal job. You know what? Learn to plumb.
Yeah.
Frame a house. Learn to dig holes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. Work in the private sector. Stop being a leech on the system.
Exactly.
Because you're not creating anything. Where does your paycheck come from? They steal it from us.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not being productive and producing for us and producing good results, which nothing federally is at all, and has been. It's just been a big money laundering scheme and a money pit. You might as well. Before I sent $7 million to Colombia for transgender surgeries, I'd rather just throw it in a fireplace and light it on fire. I'm being serious. I would rather light money on fire than to send it there for that.
I agree.
Or to send it to 75% of the stuff seen. I'd rather you just put it in a fireplace, put it in an incinerator, and light it up.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
No, I agree 110%, man. It's scorched earth. I explained it. We have a friend of ours over on Solely Switch that hangs out with us. She's not an American citizen. She wasn't born here. She's only visited here like twice in her life. Right. And she was genuinely asking questions. She's like, so is this money going to help people, or what is going on here? And I said, well, look, honestly, I wouldn't be half as mad if it actually was. You know what I'm saying? But
I wouldn't be mad at all if I could say, okay, well, that's actually doing this, or it's actually doing that. No, it's going to kill people, and it's going to trans kids in Africa, and going to promote DEI in Kazakhstan.
Right.
And going to promote garbage ideas to Iraqi youth through puppets that they call Sesame Street. Like, dude, I'm sorry, man. No, I don't care.
Even if it was going to help, here's my issue right now is that no big secret. I'm a anti-debt person. I don't like it. The Bible says the borrower is slave to the lender. Not a big fan of it. And I tried to explain to this person. Said, listen, if my wife called me right now and said, look, hey, car's broke down, I'm stuck on the side of the road, can you come get me? I'd be like, yeah, of course. Let me stop what I'm doing. You are now priority number one. I'm gonna come help and I'm gonna come get you. But let's just say for some odd reason, I get all my stuff and I go out the house, and as soon as I walk outside, go to my car, I catch on fire. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, Connor and the baby are still, I want to go help them, but I've got bigger priorities now. I've got to put the fire out. And I can't think of a better analogy. That's where our country is at. It's on fire. I understand the rest of the world sucks too, and I'd love to help, but I can't do it. I'm currently on fire, and I've got to put the fire out.
Let me ask you this: which country sent aid over for the Asheville hurricane? Which country sent aid over here for the LA fire? Which country sent aid over here for Hurricane Katrina?
I'm assuming zero.
Right. Sorry, man. You guys have a government that's responsible for you, that you guys put in place, if you're lucky enough to be in a place with elections.
Right.
If you're lucky to be in a place without rigged elections.
Yeah.
Which isn't very many places.
Right.
But you do have a choice. If you're in a country that's lucky enough that you still have the right to have a firearm, you better not give that up.
Mm-hmm.
Or not.
Right.
You better at least have the threat of force. Whether you're going to do it or not, or it's right to do it or not, you need to at least have the threat.
Mm-hmm.
That you keep doing this, we're going to take you out. You have to have the threat.
You have to.
You have to. Believe me, we would have already been in chains here. Like, the Biden administration would have locked us all in camps if they could. Hillary Clinton was calling for it. If we didn't have 1.75 firearms per citizen in this country that's registered, keyword registered, because there's a lot today. So, yeah, if we didn't have that backing us, oh yeah, man, it'd have been over for us a long time ago. A long time ago.
That's right.
So, I know other countries don't get that, but our country, our government's corrupt, and guess what? Yours is too. Every single one of them are. They're all corrupt as could be. So you need to protect yourself and your family and have the ability to organize and fight back if you have to. At least be able to have the threat of being able to fight back.
Right.
Because if you don't, they're going to run all over you. They're going to run all over you.
That's
so
right.
That's number one. If you have that, cool. If not, you need to be figuring out how to get you some.
Yeah. Figure out a way.
I'll tell you right now, if you had that threat of force in the UK, they would not be locking you up for post.
Right.
It's slowly rearing its head in the UK. You're seeing, I think the number of people that have been arrested for just social media posts is bananas. It's in the thousands.
Yes, several thousand people have been given prison sentences in the UK for social media posts where there was no explicit link to actual violence.
Yeah, if they had that threat that you were going to light them up when they came through the door, they'd be a little cautious about who they're waking up at 5 in the morning because you said something naughty about feminism.
Right, exactly.
Okay. Now, so that leads us back to our original point. Bronson, you can cut some of that if you want. I know I rambled, but that leads me back to our original point. In Europe, they're censoring speech. They don't have any firearms, or next to none. In the UK, they're locking people up for Facebook posts. They're locking people up for prayer. They're telling people in Scotland that you can't, pray in your own home if you're in these certain zones, and you can be locked up or, subjected to a $10,000 fine or 10,000, whatever they use over there in Euroland.
Right.
Yeah, man. And then they have the nerve to come over here and on 60 Minutes and then talk about how, if you say mean things about politicians, we'll arrest you in Germany. If you say things that they find is hate speech online, they'll arrest you. Well, I think we should arrest the leaders in Germany because I find what they said on 60 Minutes offensive.
Yeah, you know what? Me too. I'm putting my name on that.
And since I have the right of free speech here and you don't in Germany, then I guess, you know what? Since as an American citizen, we are above the leaders of Germany. I think we should citizens arrest them if they ever set foot on this land ever again. We should lock them up because they hurt my feelings.
Yeah,
that's what they like in their country.
Exactly.
I think we should do it for them.
You see how silly that argument is, bro? You see how easy that is?
Yeah, it's stupid. It's absolutely stupid. Right. You hurt my feelings.
Right.
You hurt my feelings. Me watching you bust in that guy's house at 5 in the morning hurt my feelings. So I think we should lock you up.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Luckily for us, old JD Vance went over there and he said some good stuff, bro.
Gave it to him. And man, they're still crying about it. They're literally crying about it. They literally got on stage and cried about it. God, I feel so bad for anybody that's a real man in Europe. Jesus, man, I am so sorry. I pray that you guys that you can get out from under this because the Karens have taken over. Oh. Even the men leaders there are Karens.
Right.
Olaf Scholz from Germany and Keir Starmer from the UK, and then Macron and his husband in France.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's just like the estrogen overload.
Oh, it's insane. Jeez, the Soylent Green, it's horrible.
So hard for them. And all those femboys get on there and talk like they're going to go to war with Russia and Putin. Like, have you met a Russian friend?
Good luck.
Oh yeah, Keir Starmer versus Vladimir Putin. I wonder who's going to win. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah, especially if we're not funding
JD, man.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, when I look at Europe today, it's sometimes not so clear what happened to some of the Cold War's winners. I look to Brussels, where EU commissars warn citizens that they intend to shut down social media during times of civil unrest the moment they spot what they've judged to be, quote, hateful content. Or to this very country, where police have carried out raids against citizens suspected of posting anti-feminist comments online as part of, quote, combating misogyny on the internet, a day of action. I look to Sweden, where 2 weeks ago the government convicted a Christian activist for participating in Koran burnings that resulted in his friend's murder. And as the judge in his case chillingly noted, Sweden's laws to supposedly protect free expression do not, in fact, grant, and I'm quoting, a free pass to do or say anything without risking offending the group that holds that belief.
Ugh.
And perhaps most concerningly, I look to our very dear friends, the United Kingdom, where the backslide away from conscience rights has placed the basic liberties of religious Britons in particular in the crosshairs. A little over 2 years ago, the British government charged Adam Smith Connor, a 51-year-old physiotherapist and an Army veteran, with the heinous crime of standing 50 meters from an abortion clinic and silently praying for 3 minutes. Not obstructing anyone, not interacting with anyone, just silently praying on his own. And after British law enforcement spotted him and demanded to know what he was praying for, Adam replied simply, it was on behalf of the unborn son he and his former girlfriend had aborted years before.
Wow.
Now, the officers were not moved. Adam was found guilty of breaking the government's new buffer zones law, which criminalizes silent prayer and other actions that could influence a person's decision within 200 meters of an abortion facility.
That's crazy.
He was sentenced to pay thousands of pounds in legal costs to the prosecution. Now, I wish I could say that this was a fluke, a one-off crazy example of a badly written law being enacted against a single person, but no. This last October, just a few months ago, the Scottish government began distributing letters to citizens whose houses lay within so-called safe access zones, warning them that even private prayer within their own homes may amount to breaking the law.
Wow.
Naturally, the government urged readers to report any fellow citizen suspected guilty of thought crime. In Britain and across Europe, free speech, I fear, is in retreat.
Wow, wow, wow. You're getting arrested for praying in your own home. You're getting arrested for praying out in public for fears that you may be influencing other people around you. That is... I don't even have a word for that. That's insane. That's beast system.
They can't have anybody in the ritual.
Yeah, exactly.
Their masters require the blood of the innocent. Can't have you getting in the way, even praying silently.
Even in your own home. That's insane.
And honestly, they did it here. Trump had to pardon people that went and prayed at abortion clinics.
Right.
It's a worldwide web of these sickos, man. Now let's go back and talk about this J.D. Vance speech.
Yeah.
I mean, was that not perfect?
Dude, he was. I'm looking at Sweden. I'm looking at UK. I'm looking at it's embarrassing.
Yeah,
it's embarrassing.
Yeah, it's these sycophant liberal white women that are just running Europe into the ground.
It's the worst.
I mean,
bro.
Did you see them on, I keep going back to the 60 Minutes one because just even looking at their faces, I get nauseous because it's like the embodiment of weakness and imbued with all the strength. It's just they want to go wage war. Why? Because they're weak.
Right.
Strong men don't want to go to war because they know what war is. It's hell.
Bad.
Yeah, strong men want peace. Is these weak, wormy people that drive you into war.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate to tell you guys, the men in your country, the actual men that would go and fight for you, don't want to fight for you.
No,
they don't.
No way.
They don't at all. all. Why would they? You've demonized them and beat them down and told them they weren't worth nothing. And if they had an opinion, they were a racist and a misogynist.
Toxic.
Europe, you don't have any fighting men that want to go fight for you because you have nothing to offer them to fight for.
That's right.
Nothing at all.
It's
you take away the speed. You want them to go fight Russia for you while you're bringing in tons of immigrants in and all these grooming gangs going around England. Yeah, I'm sure if I lived in the UK, I'm sure I would love to go fight in the army and leave my wife and children at home for grooming gangs to come in and rape them while they're raping my country of all their resources.
Right. With no gun.
No. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
see, if that happens in America, we go fight. All of our women know how to shoot.
Right.
So there's still gonna be bullets coming back at you. It's the great equalizer. And, you know, they said, God made men, and Smith and Wesson made them equal.
Right. Exactly.
Our women can shoot.
The kids can.
You don't have anything to shoot. Yeah.
That's right, bro.
So I don't know what they're gonna do, man. I feel bad for them because they're going through it over there.
I feel bad for the
reaction
decent
to
people.
it was the best.
Yeah, the reaction was awesome, bro. Yeah. Well, and the thing is there were some people who agreed.
There was a lot of people that agreed.
Yeah.
Half of my was people in Europe that were begging for us to invade them, and the other half calling JD Vance Satan and Hitler.
That's hilarious.
You know, well, that brings us to our next video because you know what Hitler loved more than anything was free speech.
Yeah. That's a crazy way to start this.
I did not know until I watched Martha here on Face the Nation, or Deface the Nation as Trump calls it. I did not know that one of the core tenets of Nazism was free speech. I'm so glad that Margaret enlightened us. Let's look at this.
Well, he was standing in a country where free speech was weaponized to conduct a genocide. And he met with the head of a political party that has far-right views and some historic ties to extreme groups. The context of that was changing the tone of it. And you know that the censorship
I have to disagree with
was
you.
specifically about the right.
No, I have to disagree with you. Free speech was not used to conduct a genocide. The genocide was conducted by an authoritarian Nazi regime that happened to also be genocidal because they hated Jews and they hated minorities and they hated those that they had a list of people they hated, but primarily the Jews. There was no free speech in Nazi Germany. There was none. There was also no opposition in Nazi Germany. They were a sole and only party that governed that country. So that's not an accurate reflection of history.
Well, he was standing in a country where free speech was weaponized.
Right, standing in a country where free speech is represented. It gets so old, man. This constant Hitler nonsense. Just
little known fact that the Holocaust was caused because of free speech.
Yeah,
absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Do you have any thoughts on that, Bronson?
How did we get here, bro? Here's the thing. I have half of a mind to believe that this stuff is just... When I found out U.S. Politico was... what was the number? Was it 8 million or something like that? Nine. It was $9 million used to subsidize subscription fees for Politico. And come to find out that like a lot of their subscribers and people that were there pushing and sharing, they were fake. They were fake. I paid for them. Shoot, they were me. You know what I mean? Yeah.
It was all funded by USAID. Yeah.
It's fake. And so I can't help but to think this lady up here is just saying a bunch of nonsense. Everybody, well, I hate to say everybody, but I imagine a lot of people have seen the compiled videos that have been put together of local news where everybody's saying this is extremely dangerous for our democracy. And you see all the news stations are all repeating the same thing. It's like the Mockingbird, you know.
Mockingbird Media, exactly what I was going to say.
There's no way in the world. I mean, who believes that, man? Like, who believes that the Nazis came to power through the use of free speech? I don't know. How did we get here is my question. It's got to be fake or what? It's just insane. That's all I have to say. It's crazy.
That lady, though, man, Margaret from Deface the Nation, that's the type of person that's running these countries in Western Europe.
Oh, yeah.
it's that brain rot. It's just like everything that, if I don't like it, it's a Nazi.
Right.
Yeah, it's just absolutely insane. Free speech caused the Holocaust.
Crazy.
Free speech caused the Holocaust.
It's insane.
Don't clip me, guys. I'm just making fun of it. But I mean, that's the statement. That's the argument. Is that J.D. Vance advocating for less immigration and for free speech is a threat to democracy. So not only is free speech a threat to democracy, but it also caused the Holocaust.
Yeah.
So you don't want another Hitler, you better not speak your mind. You might commit a thought crime.
A thought crime, yeah, exactly. I think
These
Asmund
people
Gold
are
says it
upset.
really well, where he says they take these emotionally elevated arguments and try to take like this moral high ground, and it's done. What's crazy, and it feels so
Lean into
good,
it.
it's done. We're not falling for it anymore. The calling people nationalists, calling people Nazis, calling people all these names, it's lost
I am
all
a
of its weight.
nationalist. I'm a nationalist.
Yeah.
I'm a nationalist. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I am a nationalist. Yeah, and I'm gonna lean into it every time. Yep, I'm a nationalist. Yep.
All right.
Dang straight, I'm a nationalist. I think everybody should be a nationalist. You should all want the best for your country.
Right. Why wouldn't you? It creates a competitive market, even if this is the very worst thing that could happen is it would create a competitive market.
Well, these globalists, and we all know who it is, but
Right.
these globalists, the elites, the globalists, the
Right.
whole line until you get to who it is. It's insane. Okay, they want this one world system with just a hodgepodge of people that have no culture and no intelligence and no drive and everything else, and they want to dissolve borders and have everybody just mixed together with no kind of like roots anywhere or anything else. And I mean, having a little bit of multiculturalism isn't bad. I like other people. You know what I mean?
Oh, good food.
But it doesn't work that way.
Right.
And it wasn't set up to work that way. Bronson, let me ask you this: who was the inventor of the nation state? Who came up with it?
I would say God in Genesis.
Right. Yeah. Well, you can go to after the Tower of Babel.
Right.
That's a really good one.
Noah
divided into
in the
70
ark.
nations. They all went their each way, speaking in their own tongues.
Mhm.
Right. You can go to the Book of Jubilees, where after the flood, God divided the land and told Noah to divide the land between the three sons. They went and had their own parts, and there was a curse if one of the sons went and tried to take land that wasn't given to their lineage.
Right. You're allotted land.
Shem, Ham, and Japheth.
God
God
even
is
the 12
always
tribes of Israel did that. Everybody had their own section between Manasseh, Levi, and all of them. They had their own sections, you know?
Yeah, it's always been like that. He's the father of the nation state. It works the best. Everybody should be a nationalist, and yes, it's okay.
Right.
It's a Christian virtue to believe in the nation state. God is the founder of it.
Right, and that's
Okay?
not calling for isolation. Plenty of people still traded, and they had, the world
Yeah,
still
and-
interacts with each other, but it creates a competitive market, and that's what you want.
I think you should trade goods and services, but what we want to stop doing is getting in everybody's business and trading bombs and trading foul cultural remnants from this garbage, mentally ill left, the far left. I mean, there's a lot of people that is on the left that agree with me on a lot of things, and I agree with them. But I'm talking about these sickos that want to push this degeneracy of mutilating kids and the drag queen story, all of the hot button social issues that is just complete garbage and degeneracy, and then they
Right.
want to use USAID to fund it all around the world, and nobody wants it.
No.
Nobody wants it. Nobody in Uganda wants that.
No.
That goes completely against their culture.
But they'll fund it off of your sweat equity, man. It's
Keep
twisted.
Keep that kind of garbage in France where it belongs.
What do we got
don't
coming
need
up
to add
next, bro? All right, so this is Gonzalo Lira. He was an American citizen arrested in Ukraine for posting YouTube videos. Wow. Critical of Zelensky's regime. He then died in a Ukrainian prison exactly as he predicted in his last public statement. Dictator is as dictator does. Interesting. Now, I have not watched this yet, so I'm interested.
Yeah, Gonzalo Lira is an American journalist, and he was killed by the Ukrainians. Whether they want to say they actually killed him or if he died from something while he was in jail, but they tortured this man. And he's the one that told the truth about the war. He's the one that exposed Zelensky for being addicted to cocaine. He's the one he exposed a lot of stuff over there.
Wow.
The start of the genesis of this whole situation is because I had an opinion that went against the narrative. And that's why I went to prison. And that's why, if I'm arrested again, I will die in prison. So I ask you, please, as many people as possible, the American State Department knows exactly who I am and the situation I'm currently involved in. And they know the fate that awaits me. They know it. You know, they have that saying that, I forget the wording exactly. You know, I'm a little stressed out, as you can imagine, but they have that saying that people are fundamentally good, but for evil to triumph, all you need is the indifference of good people. Please don't be indifferent to my fate. I ask you this very humbly. Please recognize that, well, the literal death that awaits me if this doesn't work out.
Wow.
Understand what's going on.
That is chilling. That's insane. I don't even know if I have words for that, man. Calling that
Yeah, they killed that guy. I believe I sent you a video earlier to Messenger that was, I believe, about a year before that, and he's just going in on Zelensky, man, the whole way. You know,
I mean, if you can't critique your leadership without having the punishment of death, what are you? What is that? You know what I'm saying? How can you call that democracy? It's a tyranny.
It's authoritarian dictatorship. And there was a tweet put out by Trump. Matter of fact, can we search that? It's
sure.
You can see Trump calls Zelensky a dictator. And there's several things within this tweet that are actually incorrect. I could point out and poke at all day long. Right at the top left.
This one right here.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is Donald Trump calling Zelensky here it is, a dictator without elections. Zelensky better move fast or he's not going to have a country left. In the meantime, we are successfully negotiating an end of the war with Russia, something I'll admit only Trump and the Trump administration could do. Look, man, we have this over here on this other page that we're about to get into here in like 3 seconds. And from what I understand, Putin has been negotiating peace since Trump talked to him. Zelensky, on the other hand, it's like he doesn't want peace because he keeps lining up his pockets with this war, bro. He just keeps getting more and more money off of this. And now we know
let's talk about this fact post because it's called fact post. It says falsely called Zelensky a dictator. So let's go through this.
Sure.
He outlawed Orthodox Christianity, right?
Right.
So religion doesn't respect that.
Right.
He locked up Gonzalo Lira for what he was saying. So, and there's been reports of other media getting locked up because of it. That's what a dictator does, right?
Mm-hmm.
You canceled elections. You can say, "Oh, the war was going on." Well, America held a war during the Civil War, and you know what I mean. And I believe during World War II. So, what's your excuse there? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, how much more stuff does he have to do to be a dictator? I mean, they're forcibly conscripting people. How many times do we see them pull people out of cars and force guys to go fight because they're running out of bodies?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are passing around that video of mentally ill guys with Down syndrome they're putting out there.
God, jeez.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen
forced conscription, no free speech, no freedom of religion, no freedom of expression. elections canceled, and a religion outlawed. Yeah, he's a dictator. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what else does it say up there? Can we go back to the post?
Yeah, sure. Hold on.
Okay, falsely claimed Ukraine started the war with Russia. I believe that is false, because the people that really started was the United States and NATO. They started this,
Right.
and namely, the one that really started was Kamala Harris, that went over there and said that Ukraine could join NATO. 2 days later, the invasion started.
Right.
That was the red line. It's been the red line since before Putin was in power. That was the red line. That was the agreement that Ukraine would be the buffer zone. We made the agreement way back in the day when the Soviet Union fell that we wouldn't move an inch east, and we kept moving and kept moving
Right,
and kept
right,
moving and
right.
kept moving. Look at all the countries we added in 1990. So, no, Ukraine didn't start the war, but Russia didn't start the war either.
Yeah, I
It
would
was
blame
the
NATO
United
100%.
States.
When Putin did that interview with
and-
Tucker Carlson, he did a great job explaining that, in my personal opinion.
I mean, you just look at the history of the actual history of it. The war did not start when Putin invaded Ukraine. The war was fomenting for decades. It started really in about 2003, and then 2004. I mean, you can go through the history of it, and it's us with forced regime changes, us with color revolutions, us funding all this stuff with USAID, propagandizing and trying to, there's stuff in there where we were like funding rap groups in Bangladesh to put out songs that were anti-government to try and force a coup. It's like just all over the world there's stuff going on, but Ukraine was the epicenter of that.
Wow.
Ukraine's been the most, you can go back just a couple of years to, I think it was the Washington Post article that said Ukraine was the most corrupt government in the entire world. It's been a money laundering for the U.S. for a long time.
Wow. It's a sad thing, man, because a lot of people have died. You know what I mean? And a lot of people in our country have been robbed for it. It's just all around one big loss for everybody. And the only people that have won are the people who have lined their pockets off of this. It's horrible.
I will say that we did get another W out of it, because at least out of this war, we got Justin Trudeau bringing a literal Nazi to Parliament and having everybody give him a standing ovation in front of the whole world. I thought that was absolutely hilarious. Without this war, we wouldn't have got that. But outside of that one small W that was funny, and it's always fun to dunk on Trudeau. Other than that, yeah, it's been all bad. Absolutely all bad.
It's been a bad time, man.
The one silver lining is this, and I know most people won't agree with me, but I've been asking for it for a long time and wanting for it and talking privately with you and family members whenever we discuss geopolitics, that I've been wanting an agreement and a truce and a friendship with Russia. It's actually the one relationship that makes sense. A lot of people will disagree with me, but it's the one relationship that makes sense to me. Their culture is the closest to us.
Mm-hmm.
Do you really like we have anything in common with Western Europe? I mean, really?
I mean, core fundamental foundational pillars of your life. You know what I mean? I can see.
Is Western Europe Christian?
No.
I mean, every time I speak to somebody from there, they talk about how backwards we are because we believe in God and all this type of stuff. But all the Russians I know all go to the Slavic Baptist Church or the Eastern Orthodox Church and everything else. Every single one of them I know that live here, and there's a lot of them that live here.
Right.
I don't know. Every time I hear Putin talk about Christianity and the Orthodox faith, I hear nothing but good things.
Right. Oh, there is that video of him online getting baptized. It's a weird type of baptism where you have to like walk through the water or whatever, but I don't know. I'm speaking out of my understanding, but
I don't fully understand Orthodoxy either. I get some of the tenets of it, but I mean, most of the people I see come out of Orthodoxy seem to be okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's better than nothing. It's better than killing your babies and Satanism, paganism, Luciferianism.
Yeah, I've never seen an Orthodox priest or whatever they may be, bishop, whatever. I'm not sure what the titles are, so forgive me for my ignorance. But I've never seen one of them with a rainbow.
Yep.
Never seen one of them browbeating one of us to let migrants in the country. I've never seen that.
That's a fact, man. Hopefully peace comes soon, dude. I'm sure it'll be right around the corner, you know. And
I hope so. Well, if we can stop the machine, we'll see. Yeah, here's the U.S. peace talks.
yeah, so normalization of relations between U.S. and Russia, even in matters beyond the conflict in Ukraine. So that's kind of a plus for what you're looking to get. Normalization of what you calls it. And then you have a proposal for a ceasefire in the conflict. The U.S. has stated that they would like the conflict over as soon as possible with the Russian... What is FM?
I can't see it, man.
Oh, sorry. Hopefully that's better for you.
Perfect.
Yeah, a proposal for a ceasefire in the conflict. The U.S. has stated they would like the conflict over as soon as possible with the Russian FM also agreeing to it. Talks of elections in Ukraine and letting the Ukrainian people decide a credible leader. Letting the people decide who's a credible leader. That's kind of a big deal.
Well, the FM is just for anybody who wants to know. It's foreign minister.
Okay, thank you. I didn't know
that would be Sergey Lavrov.
Okay, I know that name. U.S. companies to return back to Russia, okay, with an emphasis placed on the U.S. oil companies to start working with Russia's Gazprom. Ukraine will remain a neutral state and was assured, but the talks of the European peacekeepers in the region will need further discussion. So that's going to be kind of the issue, right? Is that some people want Ukraine in NATO, correct? And we're wanting to keep them as a neutral.
Let me go ahead and spell out for anybody that's not familiar, okay? Ukraine will never, ever be in NATO. So if any politician is telling you that, they're lying to you. If they're telling you you're going to have to send a foreign aid package there because they're going to be a NATO nation, they're lying to you. It's never going to happen. Putin and whoever's in charge of Russia, even if they try it 20 years from now, it will never happen. It will be World War III, and it will go down to the wire. Everybody, it's going to be millions of dead people, and Ukraine is not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth 50 million dead, because that's what it would be. And then on top of it, Ukraine still wouldn't be in NATO. It's never going to happen. Just period. No, There's no need to even discuss it further. It's never going to happen. Like, just the same way that Ukraine was never going to win that war.
Yeah.
It's the same likelihood that they'll be in NATO.
Gotcha.
Absolute zero.
Yeah, Putin's got zero tolerance for that. I imagine all of Russia probably does.
So his predecessors had zero tolerance for that.
Yeah.
There was... Okay, dude, let's say this, okay? Imagine there was a federation of 13 to 15 countries, 4 of which had nuclear weapons, and then all of a sudden they decided to move a bunch of military bases, equipment, biolabs into Mexico, in Mexico City.
Right.
How would you feel about that? Would that be something that you would feel like you would allow to ever happen?
No, it's a little troubling.
Right. Okay. Well, that's what Putin's looking at when you're looking at Ukraine. You're looking at the mighty U.S. military and the NATO alliance moving biolabs, military equipment, and all kinds of crap right next door to you. It'd be the same thing as Russians setting up missile systems in Mexico.
Right.
We would never allow that. We would go to war because that would be destruction for us if we would allow it. That is exactly what Putin's looking at with this Ukraine thing. If a lot of times all the time lefties talk about, don't you have any empathy? Why can't you stop being cruel? Well, have you ever had empathy for anybody else? The American empire that's been blowing up the whole world for the last quarter of a century or longer is moving military equipment next door to you. No. You go out on your shield at that point because you're going to get destroyed anyways. It's
exactly.
inevitable.
Yeah, exactly. No statement on if Ukraine and the EU will participate in the next meeting, but that will be decided by Russian President himself. Trump and Putin will meet soon as promised, but not next week. A date will be set sometime in the next few days. And And then you have Russia and the U.S. have agreed to restore the staff of the embassies in Moscow and Washington. Both Lavrov and Rubio stated that negotiations went well, it was long, and all topics were covered considering both nations' interest. I'm sure that's a very long conversation. I'm sure it's pretty intense. I'm sure that they're very honest. You know what I mean? I can't imagine.
I saw. I watched the press conference after it was over, and I watched Putin talked about it for a little bit, and it seems like it's going pretty well. I know right after these talks were announced that there was an attack on Chernobyl,
Right.
and it was blamed on the Russians by the Ukrainians. But the same thing happened with the Nord Stream pipeline. Apparently, Putin's just a madman. He destroys his own infrastructure. The more this goes on, the more everybody that has their eyes open sees who the real problem is, and the real problem is Zelensky and that Ukrainian regime. They gotta go.
Yeah,
they gotta go because they're trying to push for this war. They're going around demanding 250 billion from all the EU fools. This regime's gotta go. It's been a Frankenstein's monster created by the State Department. I mean, you can go back to like 2013, 2014, 2012, and Lindsey Graham and John McCain standing up there giving speeches about how Ukraine's going to beat Russia. This has been in the works for a long time. It's just
jeez, what a psyop. That's crazy.
It's been going for a long time.
Well, let's see what old Zelensky himself has to say about this.
Thing that President Trump said this week. He did not say yes when he was asked if he sees Ukraine as an equal member in the peace process. He did say later that Ukraine would have a seat at the table. Have you been given any assurances that Ukraine will have an equal seat at the negotiating table?
Booster seat.
So I will never accept any decisions between the United States and Russia about Ukraine. Never. And our people, never. And our adults and children and everybody. It can't be so. This is the war in Ukraine against us, and it's our human losses. And we are thankful for all the support, unity between USA, in USA, around Ukraine support, bipartisan unity, bipartisan support. We're thankful for all of this, but there is no any leader in the world who can really make a deal with Putin without us, about us.
Thing that President Trump said this.
Yeah, like I said, you have a seat at the table, the booster seat.
Yeah, bro.
Because let's be honest, without the funding and the military support from us, you're not doing anything.
Yeah,
it's just not. And there's a reason the EU and he's not there is because they're provoking and they want this to keep going. This has real implications, man. This has a stench of NATO's about to be done.
Right. Yeah, especially with JD going over there and doing some stuff. Like I think it was a German lady who said she wants Doge. She wants out and she wants Doge.
Yeah. There's a lot of them like that. But if the people in place, we can't do business. Like I think this is going to get to a point to where we just won't do any business with anybody that's in the EU. Because at the heart of the problem is the EU. I mean, it's just a bunch of Olaf Scholz and all these just scumbags that we don't share ideals. They're anti-God, they're anti-freedom, they're anti-human rights. Democracy means the complete opposite to them than what it does to us or anybody else. I just don't see the point in being allied with people that are so different from us and don't share our values. We'll see how the European elections go. I mean, I would like us to. My fantasy would be for them to say, okay, look, we're not going to have a military or economic partnership with anybody that's in the EU, and just let cards fall where they may. You would have countries that we would have agreements with, like Italy and Hungary and Slovakia and Germany if the AfD wins, but countries like France or the UK, if they don't want They don't want to elect people that are going to do the right thing for their citizens and their native Brits and their native French and their native Germans. And they care more about third world people from Somalia than they do their own people. They care more about funneling money through Ukraine than they do about their own people. Then, if that's what the people want and that's what they put in power, then man, I just don't see a point. I don't see a point in having a relationship with these people.
Especially since a lot of the everything they've got's off our backs anyway, man. I think it was you I was on the phone with, or somebody was telling me, it's like, dude, it's not like they work anyway. It's not like they really do anything. Everything they've got over there is off our backs. Any type of military aid, anything.
About, y'all don't have free health care and da-da-da-da-da. And they retire at 40, even 45.
So we pay for that.
We're 70 years old working 3 jobs, and we're paying all this money into NATO, and we're funding all the R&D, and then they're sending our money around for all these causes. It's like, no, you know what? No, I don't care. You know, if you have problems going on in your country, you have a government there. If your government there can't take care of you, then you don't need to be a country.
Exactly. Yeah.
And even at that point, it's still not our problem.
It's not my problem anymore, bro. Again, it's scorched earth over here. We got to fix us.
Yeah, to go under an underpass in America. Count the homeless.
Exactly.
The Bible says this, guys. It says you don't feed your dog and starve your child.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, not to compare everybody else to the world, but the child is your family. It's yours. It's your responsibility to take care of.
Right.
The dog is trivial, and it was not your responsibility to take care of. You did not. It does not depend on you for survival. It can survive out on its own.
Right.
Somebody else take care of the dog. It's your responsibility to take care of what's yours. It's your child. You take care of it. Well, the responsibility of a government is to take care of its citizens. So if they can't take care of its citizens, then we have no business doing anything for anybody else, especially these people that hate us.
Absolutely. All right, let's go on to the next one. Oh yeah, this was good. This was really, really good. This is very showing of where the world is right now, and it's kind of a good thing. I didn't think we'd be here.
We're hearing that Russia wants to force Ukraine to hold new elections in order to sign any kind of a peace deal. Is that something that the U.S. would ever support?
Well, we have a situation where we haven't had elections in Ukraine, where we have martial law, or essentially martial law in Ukraine, where the leader in Ukraine, I mean, I hate to say it, but he's down at 4% approval rating.
That's crazy.
And where a country has been blown to smithereens. You got most of the cities are laying on their sides. The buildings are collapsed. It looks like a massive demolition site. So many of the cities. I mean, they haven't done it in Kiev because I guess they don't want to shoot too many rockets in there. They've done it 20%, but they haven't done it 100%. If they wanted to do it 100%, it would probably happen very quickly. But you have cities that are absolutely decimated. And yeah, I would say that, when they want a seat at the table, you could say the people wouldn't the people of Ukraine have to say, like, it's been a long time since we've had an election. That's not a Russia thing. That's something coming from me and coming from many other countries also.
Wow. All this in a month, man. That's what's amazing about all this, is that all of this has taken place in 1 month. I mean, we've gone, let's see how long we've been in so far. Right now we're at 1 hour and 47 minutes in, and we have gone through USAID, we've gone through Americans beating up Canadians at the hockey rink. I mean, we've had foreign relations and peace talks with Russia, things that, 1 month, dude. It's unbelievable.
Matter of fact, now that you mentioned the hockey, so while we're on the video, let's check the score.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Never thought I'd care about hockey. Oh, the Snow Mexicans beat us.
Oh, really? Well,
32.
it's their sport. It's their sport. Boston is probably on fire as we speak. That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's not our sport. Miracle on Ice. I'll just bring that up anytime we talk about hockey. So we're going into our section now of executive orders, and it's this man within the first day I can't even remember what the number was, but there's been so many executive orders that have taken place, and this is actually a really cool website. I think this is pretty neat. When you go over here to Axios.com, this is pretty cool. You can actually see the categories in which the executive orders are aligned to, and if you just kind of highlight these, it'll actually show you what they're about, and not just what they're about, what they're actually titled.
And if you click on it, it goes right to the stuff. It's really awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. It'll take you straight to the White House page, and it'll show you what the executive order is written. It shows you exactly what's on the paper, and so that's really cool. And I like this a lot because sometimes you hear like when he's just signing and signing and signing, they'll just say things like, "Oh, this will help I don't know, implement AI in resourceful places," and you're like, well, what does that mean?
Emergency powers on the border. Well, what exactly does that mean?
Yeah, and then you can go in here and you can actually look at it. Now, it does become kind of like a rabbit hole, because like if you go into one, it'll say, well, this is in direct accordance with Executive Order 107810. And you're like, well, what is that? And you find out it was something written in like 2003 or something like that. So the rabbit hole can get kind of crazy when you're trying to figure all these things out. But regardless, this is a really nice, resourceful tool. So I don't know who Axios is or who owns them or what they're about, but this was worth the shout out here. That's really nice to be able to walk through them. But there is.
Let's walk through some of these, man.
Sure. Yeah. You want to start off with this one, because this one was big.
Well, this one, it wouldn't be an executive order. This one is actually a law. This was the first law to be signed into place under Trump. And this is the mother of Laken Riley, the girl that was killed at the University of Georgia by the illegal immigrant that was supposed to be deported out of here several times.
Right.
But the theme of this one has just been finally our government cares about us more than it does people that aren't supposed to be here or around the world. Well, this is the damage of when you don't care about your own people. When you don't care and you just let whoever in here, and this is the type of stuff that happens.
We also want to thank President Trump for the promises he made to us. He said he would secure our borders and that he would never forget about Laken. And he hasn't. He's a man of his word. We trust that he will fight for the American people. Most importantly, I want to thank our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, because without his sacrifices, Laken's story would have ended on that horrific day that she was taken from us.
Right.
But because of him, we can continue living knowing that we will see Laken again.
Oh. That's so sad, bro. It's just I could almost cry watching it. It's just devastating. I can't imagine what that's like, bro. And knowing that the person who harmed her wasn't even supposed to be here anyway, bro. Wasn't even supposed to be here.
Wasn't even supposed to be here.
Nope. And the administration didn't care. Let him be here. Shoot, we funded him while he was here. We all got to partake in his life.
They were spending our money to fly these illegals that weren't supposed to be here into the country so they could say that border crossings were down.
Right.
Well, yeah, they were down because you were using our money to fly them in here. And they just, even after the executive order that stopped funding illegal immigrants, they still tried to send $59 million to New York for luxury hotels for illegal migrants.
Yeah, expensive hotels.
Still, after the executive order.
Yeah.
That's... Man, I just don't even know, man. It's absolutely insane. And you see the damage of it, and it's not just that one lady, it's tons of them.
Oh yeah, she's just one of many. And the cool thing about it is that was a promise that Trump gave her years ago. This wasn't something that happened like a week or two ago. So that poor lady has been living with this issue of your child. I can't imagine. I don't know if there's anything worse for a parent to go through than to lose your child. You know what I'm saying? That just sounds like a horrible thing.
And it didn't, and it shouldn't have even happened. The guy shouldn't have been here. That girl should have still have gone out for a good jog and came back and been fine.
Yes, completely avoidable.
Yeah.
Totally avoidable. And one good thing about that video that I didn't quite notice until just now when I listened to it is that when she mentioned Jesus Christ's name, just how many amens you heard in the room. Yeah. That's good. It's
yeah. Well, we're gonna do a video coming up on some of these Jezebel pastors, and there's a lot of them that Trump just cannot get away from. Like I said, there's some bad things too. And we're gonna do a video about this, with the bishop and several of these other ones going through the Bible and show, like, biblically, what the criteria is to be a leader of the church and what it isn't. And there's a few things you can look for, and you can just know automatically that this is doctrines of the devils. Because if they don't care about what the Bible says, then they're not gonna care about what they preach.
Exactly.
Don't need to be around them.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go on to the next one, man. The next one was another big one. The signs the executive order to keep men out of women's sports. Now, I was a little torn on this. Bronson, will you bring us back on the screen?
Yeah, for sure.
While I don't think men should be in women's sports, I am a little bit upset that the next time the Olympics come around, I won't be able to cash in on all the dudes in women's boxing. Because, if there was a surer bet, I've never seen one in my life.
Yeah.
And they both won gold in their respective weight divisions. Who would have thought it? The two dudes in women's boxing. I mean, that one girl from Italy, she got hit in the face. She's been a top contending boxer from her country and just working her tail off. She got hit one time, wasn't even a hard punch by this man. This dude punched this chick in the face at the Olympics, and she just quit. She'd never been hit like that before. Because, she was probably raised in a decent area where dudes didn't punch girls in the face.
Right.
So, this is the most, obvious thing to sign that's ever been signed.
Right. It's one of those, what are we talking about type of things, Why do we even have to do this?
No, you can't compete with the girls. No, you can't go in their locker room. No.
Right.
Matter of fact, we need a straitjacket because this dude's insane.
Yeah, this is a problem.
He won't leave the women alone. He won't leave the women alone. Like, leave them alone. Get out of their spaces. Let them have their spots. You know what I mean?
Yep. People train their entire lives to do this. You train your entire lives to go into the Olympics or or whatever it is you're doing. You're trying to get a scholarship for college or whatever it is you're trying to do.
People had the nerve to celebrate their gold medal for punching chicks in the face, bro.
It's unbelievable. There was an episode. If somebody who might be closer to my age might remember this episode of iCarly on Nickelodeon, where there is a children's wrestling tournament, and one of the teachers of the school signs up because he says, well, it says children, but there's no rule in the book that says you have to be a child, and he's just killing these kids this wrestling competition. He's just slamming them down and just destroying these kids. And I remember at the time just thinking it was hilarious, but then here I am, 10, 15 years later as an adult, and it's like, it's a reality, bro. It's really what we're dealing with right now. That your ego is so low, like, this is what you have to do.
Joanna Man was prophetic.
Yeah, bro, it's so sad. I forgot about that. It's unbelievable. Let's watch it real quick.
And, I'm not allowed to say this politically. It could end my career. They're really beautiful people. These are beautiful people. But like everything else, it's a little bit different today. You're not allowed to say that because if you call a woman or a girl beautiful, that's the end of your career. But let's take a chance on it, Mike. Let's take a chance. So I want to thank everybody for being here. It's fantastic. And this is sort of a big, big day. It shouldn't have even been necessary to take place. It started a long time ago, and we ended it today. And I'm going to sign the executive order right now, and everything I said will go into effect immediately, okay? Thank you.
Down.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Everybody, thank you. If you'd like to gather around me, I think I'm going to be okay. Come on. Come on. Secret Service is worried about them? If we have to worry about them, we have big problems. Okay, do you want to do this? Watch what I do, and then I'm going to give you some pens, okay? You ready? What a nice picture this is, huh, Governor? You ready? We'll do a good job. Wait, let me press
Marketing
that.
genius.
Yeah. Always be closing.
I want to make this a really good signature because this is, this is a big one, right? Oh, I think we have a 10. We have a 10.
God bless you, Mr. President.
Pretty good, huh? I see that. Okay? Good. Now you're going to go out and win those events, right? Nice to see you all. Nice to see you. Great going, everybody. Nice to see you. Thank you, kids. Here. Take a pen.
Starts handing out
I'll give
presidential
some of these out,
pens.
okay? Take a pen.
I gotta tell you, man, I've worked with kids for a long time and teaching martial arts, and that man executed that geniusly, bro. That was well done.
The photo op and everything. It was it was
God.
fantastic.
Yeah, so good. And honestly, I mean, it's such a good thing, bro. Like we all said, what are we talking about here? Why are we even doing this? But and some people are upset about this, but this is what the majority of Americans voted for. This is what people actually wanted to see done, man. It's just common sense, bro. Get the men out of the women's sports. If she wants to fight a guy in a boxing ring, she has every right to do so. But a man shouldn't be in her league if she's not wanting to fight a biological man. That's ridiculous, man. It's just wrong.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's no place for, especially in combat sports. There's no place for a guy that went through puberty and has the bone density and the muscle mass. I mean, we can just go through all of this, the whole list. It's so much of an advantage. Not even talking about it on just a sinful level with the transitions, just talking about it on a biological level. There's so much of a difference. Like, we're just lucky that one of these girls didn't get killed.
Oh, well, there's been situations where there's been skull fractures and all sorts of stuff that have taken place. Like you said,
what I'm saying is we're just lucky that nobody got killed.
Yeah.
If it would have continued down this, weirdo nightmare, it would have happened.
Oh yeah,
it would have happened.
Absolutely.
And I promise you, let the wrong guy's daughter get killed by a guy that shouldn't have been in sports, and it can really go downhill fast.
Yep, exactly. It's time to just cut
a
it
guy
off.
that's well respected and has his community behind him and is pissed off. Excuse my language, but mad about this. You can get some real crazy stuff behind it. It's best to just let this kind of stuff go. If you're a girl and you want to be a guy, do it on your own time. Don't affect anybody else with your life. If you're a guy and you want to be a girl, same thing.
Right.
Just
right.
You want to live that way. You whatever.
Just get your own league. That's all. I've been on that stance this entire time. Regardless, is like, it's not my place to tell you what you do, what you don't do. No, of course not.
It's such a small percentage of the population, and that's not the point.
Exactly. It's not
the point. Is to invade the space and to make a scene out of it.
Yep.
And to draw attention to themselves, because not all of them, but most of them, that's what this is. It's attention.
Mm-hmm.
It's attention. Why does every Hollywood starlet, all their kids, all three of their kids are trans?
Right. It's weird.
They're 8, 6, and 5. They're trans.
Right.
It's about attention. It's about a virtue signal. Hey, I'm in the cool club. Hey, I'm one of you guys. And it's just it's a mental illness, man. It's a mental illness.
It is. It's an invasive mindset that permeates, and it just has an odd way of spreading like a virus into children's brains. It just the propaganda, the mind control that they try to do is just
they target the kids.
Highly effective. Yeah, and it's highly effective. It's dangerous, and I'm glad. Honestly, if there's anything else I can be glad about, is that type of stuff is out the window, bro. It's just, man, what are we doing here, man? What are we talking about?
Yeah, there goes my 100% stone cold lock on Prize Picks. There it goes.
So in some happier news, this is something I am really looking forward to, man. This came out forever ago. This was what, 2023, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
It was a long time ago that when he was announcing the fact that he was going to run for another term. He mentioned that in 2026 we were going to have the 250th anniversary of America, and dude, I really hope he delivers. I mean, I hope Donald Trump goes full on Donald Trump for this. I am ready for this party.
He's been talking about it lately too. Now this video is from before he won the presidency. This is when right after he had just announced, if I remember right.
Yeah, it was
there. It's been quite a while, but lately he's been talking about this, and we are going to do it along with a few of the other things he mentions in this. So it is, and he has been, talking about this is something that's going to happen. It's going to be very cool. Over the next couple of years, there's going to be a lot of big worldwide events going on in the U.S. You have the World Cup that's going to be here for soccer. You have the 250th coming up. And then you have the Los Angeles Olympics coming. So big things happening over the next few years in the U.S. And it just feels like we're getting to the precipice of something. Either we're going over the edge, or we're still climbing up the mountain, but we're coming up on something big, and it's all culminating around these next couple of years.
Yeah, I agree.
Check this out. This is going to be cool. I'm really excited about this.
3 years from now, the United States will celebrate the biggest and most important milestone in our country's history. 250 years of American independence. What a great country. And we have to keep it that way. But that's why, as a nation, we should be preparing for a most spectacular birthday party. We want to make it the best of all time. Here is my plan to give America's founding in 1776 the incredible anniversary it truly deserves. On day one, I will convene a White House task force called Salute to America 250. It will be responsible for coordinating with state and local governments to ensure not just one day of celebration, but an entire year of festivities across the nation, starting on Memorial Day 2025 and continuing through July 4th, 2026.
Whoa.
Second, I will work with all 50 governors, Republican and Democrat alike, to create the Great American State Fair, a unique one-year exhibition featuring pavilions from all 50 states. It'll be something.
Let's go.
The Great American State Fair will showcase the glory of every state in the Union, promote pride in our history, and put forth innovative visions for America's future. My hope is that the amazing people of Iowa will work with my administration to open up the legendary Iowa State Fairgrounds to host the Great American State Fair and welcome millions and millions of visitors from around the world to the heartland of America for this special one-time festival. Together we will build it and they will come. Third, alongside the Great American State Fair, we will host major sporting contests for high school athletes. These are great athletes, wonderful athletes from fantastic high schools all around the country. These Patriot Games will allow young Americans from every state to show off the best of American skill, sportsmanship, and competitive spirit. Fourth, I will sign an executive order to bring back our National Garden of American Heroes, which we want to build very badly. Commission artists for the first 100 statues to populate this new statuary park honoring the greatest Americans of all time. Fifth, as president, I will invite the leaders and citizens of nations around the world to visit the United States in honor of our 250th anniversary. It's going to be great. America's tourist industry should get ready because we're going to have a lot of people coming. It will be a record year. And finally, and most importantly, I will ask America's great religious communities to pray for our nation and our people as we prepare for this momentous occasion. From the very beginning, America has been a country sustained and strengthened by prayer and by our communities of faith. As we chart a course toward the next 250 years, let us come together and rededicate ourselves as one nation under God. Thank you. 3 years.
Oh, dude. Yeah, that sounds great. I'm good on all the statues and stuff. You can count me out on that. But when it comes to a big old state fair. Oh man, come on, bro. That sounds like a really good time. That sounds awesome.
I will say this, let me throw this out here. I know I'm always Mr. Negative. Remember what happened last time that we had all these state fairs and world fairs and all that type of stuff?
Everything caught on fire.
Everything caught on fire after that.
Yep.
So,
yep.
I just want to, if you watched our the Old World series, we have a playlist on YouTube, so check that out. Just wanted to point that out there. Whenever I hear
about it too, I get scared too.
From all over the world coming, I'm like, oh, are they about to burn this place down?
Yeah, that's exactly, man. Yeah, I think the same thing. It's like, oh, that's really, really scary. Oh,
man, on his face, man, I'm really excited about that, and it's going. I think we should take a trip out to Iowa.
Oh, I'm going. I promise you, I'm going.
Yeah, this is a once in a lifetime type of thing. That, if this country does last another 250 years, which who knows, but if it does, they'll be talking about this forever.
Yes, dude. I promise you, I'll be there.
Stuff about bicentennial celebrations and stuff like that. Well, this is the 250, and it's going to be Trump doing it, so it's going to be big and bright and golden and gaudy, and it'll be America. So.
Yeah, man. And whoever did his what was the speech where Hulk Hogan ripped his shirt off? What was that? Was that the Republican National Convention, or was that? Yeah. If they put her in charge, this is going to be a fire party for the whole year. It's going to be awesome, dude. Yeah, I promise you, I'll be going to Iowa. Yeah. When it comes North Carolina week, dude, I'm gonna be dressed in all blue. Krispy Kremes in this hand, a pair of Jordans in this hand. I'm gonna have a J. Cole album wrapped up around a rope chain on my neck. Yeah, I'm going full Carolina on this one, dude. It's gonna be a blast. I cannot wait. It's just a wear a Bojangles box on my head, dude. I'm going all in. We don't ever get to do anything. In my lifetime, I've never seen America ever celebrated for anything. We have 4th of July, and when I was younger, people would wear like American flags on 4th of July and stuff, but that's kind of gone by the wayside. You don't really see that anymore.
Oh, man, I see quite a bit. Especially since the Trump stuff, man. I would tell you the lowest I've ever seen patriotism in our country was the second term of Obama. I mean, it was
no
just
doubt. I agree.
Since the Trump thing, at least half the country is a lot more patriotic. You hear USA chants like you did back after 9/11 and stuff.
Right.
I mean, it's definitely there, man. There's no other country that's patriotic like we are.
That's true.
Yeah, in this country, everybody's patriotic, but like we are, like it's just like no matter what, there's the stars and bars everywhere you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If somebody screws this up, man, I'd be so mad. I swear, if somebody goes into Iowa and does something stupid, man, it'd be a horrible place to do it because everybody there is just trying to have a good time. And I don't know what Iowa's gun laws look like, but
they're real lax.
Are they?
So if any mess around, it'd be a bad time.
Bad day. Everybody.
Yeah, it'd be a bad day.
You're ruining America Day. It's not gonna be good for you, bro.
You come to the birthday party and start some stuff in America, it's gonna be all bad.
Oh, dude, it's gonna go crazy. Yeah, I'm really excited about that. I think that's some of my favorite news. I mean, and obviously all this other stuff has been great, exposing USAID, getting rid of the everything Doge has done. I've been a fan of for the most part so far. I'm not a big fan of the Department of Faith, and we're about to get into some of the stuff that I'm really not a big fan of. But I can get down with that. Having high school athletes and getting people recognition for college tuition or scholarships and.
Before we go too far, man,
sure.
Let's go back to the list of the executive orders. So let's scroll through those a little bit.
Let's see.
I know we're going a little late.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of them here. There's the 3 of them for faith, anti-Semitism, eradicating anti-Christian bias, establishment of the White House Faith Office. That was pretty good. I guess. Education, you've got ending the COVID-19 vaccine mandate. That's really nice. School choice, we all knew that was going to be the thing. We're taking all the DEI out of schools.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot that we didn't even talk about the Gulf of America and the Panama Canal. Make America healthy again. All that stuff is really, really good. Yeah, everything that RFK is going to be doing is just, come on, man. Keep men out of women's sports. Protecting the children from surgical and chemical mutilation. That's great. A lot of stuff going on in the military where they're getting rid of that stuff. Can't have that in there no more. He declared only 2 genders, which Cat Williams had the best piece on that. Let's see, there's Gulf of America Day. Oh, by the way, that's my birthday.
Yeah, you're now on Gulf of America Day.
Yeah, man, I was born on Gulf of America Day. it's just such a Trump thing to do.
We're changing the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, and
It's
the
so
Atlantic
amazing.
Ocean to the Ocean of America. Canada's gonna be the 51st state. We will change the name to Gay North Dakota.
Oops, I didn't mean to click that.
I swear, man. Has there ever been a more entertaining human being than Donald
No,
Trump?
man, I don't care. You can hate politics with all your heart. Donald Trump is still entertaining, man. I was kind of blackpilled around, like, I don't know, around 2020 or so, 2019, and I was really kind of around there. I still enjoyed watching him. If he was on TV, I promise I was watching it. He was just it's just entertaining to watch. Unleashing American energy is really good. Alaska's resource potential, so oil and all that's really nice.
Yeah.
Really good. The national energy emergency.
That's a big one. That's a real big one. That's going to expedite permits on a lot of the energy coming out of here.
Right. It's going to, self-sufficiency is nice. Restoring the death penalty and protecting public safety. That's kind of a big one too. We'll get into that one here in just a minute about the declassification of JFK, RFK, and MLK. That also includes UAPs, UFOs, and 9/11. This one was a big one too. The service members were going to get their full back pay if they were discharged for rejecting the 19 vaccination.
Yes. Hey, that we can go back to that COVID one real quick. That COVID back pay, that is so big for the culture of the military.
Yeah, man, that's big.
A lot of the guys that were, who you would think would be military guys were not taking that vax.
Right.
And for them to give them back pay and try to bring them back on, man, that is massive for the culture of our military. Massive for just foreign relations all over. It's no longer trainees and get masks in charge at the Department of Defense anymore. It's the boys are back in town.
Exactly. Bringing a little bit of masculinity.
Yeah.
All the cartels, MS-13. I think it was nine or 7 different cartels and South American gangs have now been.
Hey, you cartels, you could have avoided this altogether.
Yep.
You've been selling drugs for decades and decades and decades. You should have never touched fentanyl.
That was the one, bro. That was the one.
It's killed so many people we know. Everybody here in America, if you're from overseas, has somebody they know that's died from this stuff.
Yes.
And most of the time, most of the time, I would say 75% of the time, the people die from weren't even trying to do fentanyl. It was put in something else. It was spiked. My best friend died from something that was spiked with that garbage.
Yeah.
And everybody's got a story like that.
Yeah.
Cartels messed up. You guys could have sold your other substances and ran your other schemes for here into eternity.
Yep.
But you started killing people. You stopped being a business. You became mass murderers.
Exactly.
300,000 people. Yeah, like to me, it made no business sense either, Bronson. Like you have a customer base. Okay, why would you sell things to get rid of your customer base? They got to be getting big payouts from the Chinese government.
That's it. It's the only thing. Yeah, it's the only thing.
That's the only thing I could think of. And you guys messed up doing it because now they can drone strike you whenever they want.
Exactly right. Yeah, it's been too much, man. It's too much. I don't know.
You went from being low life drug dealers that made billions of dollars that nobody really cared about what you were doing because You know what I mean? You were selling to people that were doing drugs and everything else. But when, bodies are starting to pile up everywhere,
Right.
and like in Philly, you can't they have Narcan Narcan machines. Like you would get a Coke out of like a machine.
Yeah.
They have it with Narcan to save people because this stuff is so prevalent, it's killing everybody.
That's so
And
sad,
it's just-
bro. It's so
So
sad.
we have a family member that's died like 17 times.
Yeah, exactly right.
Like, it's just terrible.
Everyone that I know that has passed away, because I can think of about 5 people off the top of my head. I'm sure if I thought harder I could think more, but these 5 people aren't friends of friends. These are people that were my friends that I knew. And they were all under the age of 25. You know what I mean? Some of them were 19, 20, 21 when they did it, and it's just you start taking away the kids. Sorry?
My best friend was in his early 30s with 4 kids.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah,
4 young kids, one of which had health problems that, let's just put it this way, that family needed their daddy.
Yeah.
And he made a decision that was a decision he shouldn't have made, but he didn't make the decision to put what went in his body. That decision wasn't his. He didn't make that decision. Somebody else made that decision for him.
Right.
And how that got here was through the government of China, the CCP, and the Mexican cartels. That's who did it. They're the ones responsible for his murder.
Right.
That's a murder. That's a poisoning is what that is.
That's exactly what
and
that
there's
is.
people all over this country that's been poisoned by these people. I'm glad they're on the terrorist list. The government of Mexico should have done something about this a long time ago instead of benefiting from the dirty money.
Right.
But we've lost enough people. I'm glad they're on the list.
Yep. I agree 110%. I think, honestly, I don't know who's in disagreement. I know there are people out there, but whatever. You know what I mean? It's high time, been high time that gets taken care of, man. You want to move into some of this AI stuff?
Well, let's go over that the executive order for that first. Let's kind of touch on all of them real quick. And then as we get to them, then we'll pull up the videos for them.
Sure. So I skipped over a couple of them that we have videos for, like the fish and the water and stuff like that. But like he got the water in California moving just fine. Holding government officials accountable for election interference. Let's see, restoring freedom of speech and ending federal censorship. That's a big thing for YouTube channels. It's real big. Notice I've said the V word like 6 times tonight. I've said vaccine, and I really don't think we're going to get in any trouble for that.
Yeah, and guess what? America's back, baby. You can
That's
say
right.
whatever you want again.
That's right. It's been really, really nice
Isn't that
so far.
nice? Isn't that nice? We don't have to worry about biting our tongues or anything else like that because we have, like, our freedom of speech is back.
Right, you can say things. Like, imagine that. I'm allowed to say things. Isn't that a crazy thought? Yeah.
Yeah. And guess what? If it's a bad idea, you know what happens? Somebody corrects you with a better idea.
Yeah. Isn't that
that's
nice?
That's why when you look at these countries that censor, like, that's the ultimate admission of defeat. They can't win the intellectual argument. They can't win based on facts or reality. They have to silence you because they can't intellectually win.
Right. That's a very good point. But this was a big
Iron
one. I
Dome
thought
for a miracle.
yeah, man, that's pretty sweet. I just, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? You like that? I think it's cool.
I think the Department of Defense should be used for just that, defense. And the Iron Dome is a step towards that.
Mm-hmm.
I would like us to utilize on all of our coast railgun technologies and directed energy weapons, and kind of like, I'm serious, just like Tesla envisioned. We've talked about this before. That's what I want. Like, I don't want us over there interfering in everybody's lives, telling them how to live, running their countries, interfering in their elections, and I don't want to pay for any of that.
Right.
But I also want everybody to be safe and secure that's here, and I think that defense should be spent on defending the homeland and securing our energy grid, and making sure that we don't have Chinese spy balloons flying over our country, over all of our sensitive military sites.
Exactly right.
You know,
Exactly right.
anything that has to do with strengthening the defense of the homeland, that's where our money should be spent for defense, is making sure that we are safe and we can't be infiltrated, and our utilities are secured, our infrastructure is secured. Anything like that, I'm down for.
Yes. This was a good one. Withdrawing the United States from ending funding to certain United Nations organizations and reviewing the U.S. support to all international organizations. That's good. Imposing sanctions on the International Criminal Court. Oh yeah, he's
that's
reopening.
about right.
What's that?
You know what that's about, right?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so you know what it's about.
No, I'm assuming we're talking about people like the Tom Hanks and stuff like that who have done bad things and they're going to other countries
the sanctions on the ICC is in retaliation for them putting an arrest warrant out for Netanyahu.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Got you. Addressing the egregious actions of the Republic of South Africa. So that's interesting there.
You do know about that?
Yeah. It's what is that? Mauritania?
Or is it Orania or something like that? Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Look, the South African government is racist. They hate white people. I mean, it is what it is. That's basically all there is to it. He's made it easy for the South Africans to be able to leave and repatriate here, basically to get them out before they're killed. They have leaders of their government chanting, "Kill the white farmers, kill the Boer, kill the Boer," and for the most part, Christian families, and the history's tough over there in South Africa. I worked with a lot of them, man. It's real. All the stuff you hear about what's happening to the farmers there, it's real. 100%. I talked to guys that were the farmers over there every day. They work with me.
Wow.
It's 100% real. Yeah.
Wow.
They can't send their women out. Look at the hard R, the rhymes as a grape.
Yeah.
I think we still need to cover that one up, regardless of free speech, because I think that sends off warning bells. But look at the rates of that in South Africa. You can't send your women out to shop by themselves. You can't do anything like that.
Yeah, that's horrible, man.
The numbers are insane. Yeah.
There's ending taxpayer subsidization of open borders, so that's good. It saves us some money. National emergency at the border. States protection against invasion. There's Guantanamo Bay full capacity.
Yeah, reopen Guantanamo.
Yeah, that's insane. Let's see. Death penalty. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think we've gone over all of these now. Finance and technology is what we need to look at. So here we go. That was for TikTok, so that is what it is. President's Council of Advisors on Science and Technology. That's going to be a rabbit hole we'll be going down soon. Removing barriers to American leadership and AI. So that was something he actually took out. Like Biden in his office was the one who actually put up those barriers for American leadership to use AI. Strengthening American leadership in digital financial technology. So I'm assuming that's Bitcoin, Ethereum, maybe even some Doge. You never know. A plan for establishing a United States sovereign wealth fund. That was another one. That's going to be a rabbit hole we'll be going down eventually. Adjusting imports of steel into the United States. So that's kind of an interesting thing too, man. He's been big on steel and gas, energy and steel. Trump is big on those things. Emergency price relief for the American families in defeating the cost of living crisis. So that's good. Adjusting imports of aluminum into the United States. Yeah. And then you guys probably
you gotta remember Trump is a builder.
Yeah.
He understands what goes into this country. You can't make tanks without steel. You can't build buildings without steel and aluminum. Those industries they are absolutely necessary if you're going to be more of a nationalist country and more, not totally isolationist, but more isolationist. You must have steel and aluminum manufacturing. You must have microprocessor manufacturing. You must make your own medicine and antibiotics. You must have your own automobile industry.
Right.
You must have these things.
Right.
You must
Absolutely.
be able to generate energy. You must have nuclear, coal, natural gas, standard oils. You must have these things to be able to be a self-sufficient country. Over the past several decades, our antibiotics are made in China.
Right.
Our military equipment is a lot of it's manufactured in China. The parts of it are. We rely on them for steel.
A lot of car parts are made in Mexico.
And we rely on the safety of Taiwan for the microprocessors that fuel our modern life.
Right.
Computers and smartphones, cars. I mean, the CPUs can't run in these modern cars without these microprocessors.
Right.
So we have to defend Taiwan, and it's right there at China. I mean, we have to have that manufacturing here, bring NVIDIA back here. It's massive for us. Massive, 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 massive.
It really is. You don't realize just how much it is until you start looking at it. You see just how DEI was everywhere for days and days and days and days and days. So I'm sure everybody's kind of caught up on that. But merit-based is good. I like merit-based.
Sorry guys. The government's not going to fund you being racist to white people anymore. Sorry.
Right.
Hate it for you.
Yeah, I think this is everything, man. Did we do health? Let's see. Enforcing the Hyde Amendment. President's Make America Healthy Again. Yeah, we did that. Yep.
Yep. All right, let's check out some of these videos.
Let's do it, man. All right, so this is Sam Altman. I'm thrilled that we get to do this in the United States of America, talking about some of this AI stuff.
I don't have too much to add, but I did want to say I'm thrilled we get to do this in the United States of America. I think this will be the most important project of this era, and as Masa said, for AGI to get built here, to create hundreds of thousands of jobs, to create a new industry centered here. We wouldn't be able to do this without you, Mr. President, and I'm thrilled that we get to. I think it'll be an exciting project. I think we'll be able to do all of the wonderful things that these guys talked about. But the fact that we get to do this in the United States is I think, wonderful. So thank you very much.
Could you just say one word? I hear so many positive things about what it's going to do for medical research and for solving things, cancer and all the different problems. How will AI help us with the fight against various problems, diseases, etc.?
These guys can maybe share more about some of the work they're doing there. I think they'll jointly be some of the leaders about driving progress here. But I believe that as this technology progresses, we will see diseases get cured at an unprecedented rate. We will be amazed at how quickly we're curing this cancer and that one and heart disease, and what this will do for the ability to deliver very high quality healthcare, the costs, but really to cure the diseases at a rapid rate, I think will be among the most important things this technology does.
Wow. I love how old school Trump is, man. If you just compare the shine on his shoes compared to these other guys, it's just, I love that old school style of self-respect type of stuff, man. He just emits just that old school vibe. That AI stuff, though, man, kind of freaks me out, bro. I'm not going to lie to you.
Well, yeah, the thing that's the worst about this is what Larry Ellison, the guy that's standing to the far right there, say about they want to fight cancer with mRNA injections with AI, and it's like, I don't know, man. This sounds pretty dystopian to me. I don't want any of your mRNA side of me. I don't want you to change my DNA. I don't want any part of it. This feels like some real Mark of the Beast weirdo, far out type stuff, and
I'm good.
I want nothing to do with this. Don't put this inside of me. If I'll say this publicly so everyone can see. If I'm gonna die and they're telling me the only answer is mRNA, just let me go.
Yep. Audis.
No, man. They had, have you ever seen the video of his name, Bill de Blasio, who was the mayor of New York during the COVID outbreak? Have you ever seen him eating the burger and fries and saying, "Oh, give this, If you take this, have you seen that video?
I've seen the memes. I've seen lots of memes.
I tell you what, could you please pull up the Ancient Echoes X account? I believe I've posted this.
Free fries when you get vaccinated?
Free fries.
I got vaccinated. You're saying I could get this? These delicious fries? Wait a minute. But there's also a burger element to this? Let me check with Bill Neathart. Is it too early in the day to eat a burger? No. This could be breakfast? Okay. I want you to look at this and think about, again, some people love hamburgers, some don't. Really want to respect all ways of life. But if this is appealing to you, just think of this when you think of vaccination. Vaccination. I'm getting a very good feeling about vaccination right now. Free fries.
I already know that burger was trash, bro. It didn't look good at all. The cheese wasn't even melted. That was trash. And crinkle fries are the least good of fries of all the fries that ever fried. It's not even a good bribe.
They needed to get mRNA inside of you. It's very, very clear. Like, that was... I don't know if I've ever seen something that was more like blatant in your face with, aren't these fries delicious? Think
Vaccines.
Like, that was like...
That's trash.
That was propaganda, like, cranked up to Spinal Tap 11, bro. That's something else. So anytime they're trying to tell me about mRNA, I think about that, because it's like they're trying to sell me this so badly. They're offering me fries. They're giving away the vaccine for free. Nothing's for free. Everything's got a cost. You had to have that, and I'm not doing it. Pure blooded till I'm done. Like, I'm not getting that stuff inside of me. I don't care if it's Trump that's selling it. I don't care if it's Larry Ellison, Sam Altman. That dude is like some kind of weird little gay demon or something. Like, just watching him talk, I'm like, I don't want him anywhere near AI. I don't want this dude programming it or nothing. Like, just no thank you. No thank you to all those dudes. Sorry. The SoftBank guy from Japan, he seems to be the best out of the three, but still, no thank you. I think that we should all collectively be coming together to destroy AI, not to build it. Right. None of the outcomes, I think, are going to be good. I don't care.
No,
like I said, I don't care who's telling it to me. So this is the part we've been kind of upping and kind of glazing, as the kids say, Donald Trump for the first part of this video, but this is one that I am not on board with. Bronson, what say you?
No, not at all, dude. No, not at all. I think robotics has its place in life. I think there are tiny little things when it comes to brain surgery and heart surgery that I maybe a robot might do better than your hands, but I've been saying this for weeks now, and I stand on it. AI should do nothing more than what droids in Star Wars do. You should be a trash can. You should be able to walk up to me that I put a drink into, and you just take your little robot body out to the dumpster and you dump my trash in there for me. You can do the small, minuscule, nonsensical tasks that nobody wants to do. That's as far as AI goes for me. That's it. You know what I'm saying? That's it.
I don't think that we should ever get to a point to where artificial intelligence has the power to learn.
No.
I think everything that a machine or a robot or whatever should be able to be pre-programmed, and that's all it can do. It can't go past the barriers you set.
Yeah.
And we've seen on several occasions that the AI that we see, the front-facing AI that we have, is already capable of doing that. Remember when they created their own language to talk to each other?
It took them like a day to do it. Yeah, it wasn't long at all.
Yeah, and that's the AI that we're seeing.
Right.
That we're allowed to mess with and use.
Right.
We're not talking about the stuff that's military grade or the stuff that's been developed by, Department of Defense or one of the black budget agencies.
Yeah, no way.
We're not seeing
too scary, man. You're messing with powers that are greater than you, and it's just no.
It's got to a point. I think it's just got to a point to where we can't stop it. So everybody,
I think so.
Even the people that like Elon that were against it, have embraced it because we've already reached the point of no return.
Right.
We've already reached that point, apparently.
Yeah, and I think it's No, I'm good on that. I saw some strange stuff on X the other day. I'll use some weird language surrounding it, but I know everybody knows what I'm talking about. Where they use like this weird little, almost like a double helix looking micro tiny AI robot, and it's used to take sperm cells that have low mobility, and it's directing them towards the egg. And everybody, I didn't see one person on X that was not like, why? Like, why are you doing things that nature is obviously saying don't do? And here you are taking, you know what I'm saying? There's just, you're doing stuff you're not supposed to be doing, bro. Like, stop, man. Like, Terminator 2 and Terminator 3 were movies that woke me up when I was like, maybe like, I don't know, 9-10 years old. I remember seeing those movies and just laying in bed at night and just staring at the ceiling like, bro, that's not a good idea. It's just not a good idea. If a 9-year-old can come up with it, you should know.
At least Terminator was over quick.
Right.
Yeah, it was over pretty quick. You remember the iconic thing with her on the fence being like, fire just blowing over her? That was the iconic image from that movie.
Right.
What I fear is that we're heading more along the lines with the Matrix.
Right, I agree. I agree.
To where, they might start off with a Roomba, but in 100 years, now you're the Roomba.
Right.
You're the Energizer battery. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Something that has the ability to create a language like that fast.
No.
Yeah, they communicate, that quickly. It's not gonna have a use for us very long.
No. Yeah. What can I do? Look at this. You know what I'm saying? It'll take nothing. And I can't even solve a Rubik's cube, bro. You know what I mean? I can't. Like, I am useless to this thing, bro. Like, it's so silly to me, man.
Yeah, if they're just looking at equations, there's not a whole lot of us that they're going to need to use for keeping it around. Maybe the top 2% of engineers.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Here goes one more where he says this is where he eliminated Biden's era AI regulations, ordering review of all previous policies.
This is an executive order on AI. We're basically announcing the administration's policy to make America the world capital in artificial intelligence and to dominate and to lead the world in AI.
Do you want to say your name, your full name?
David Sachs, AI and Crypto Czar.
David is one of the greatest in the world at AI. Most respected probably there is. So that should take us to the forefront, right?
Absolutely. We got to win.
Okay.
Yeah, man. I'm good on all the AI stuff, bro. That's no need for me. I don't want to beat it to death, but jeez. But here's some of the things we kind of covered while we were looking over at that website that had all of those executive orders on them. I thought this was really cool.
Service members who were unjustly expelled from our military for objecting to the COVID vaccine mandate with full back pay. And I will sign an order to stop our warriors from being subjected to radical political theories and social experiments. Service.
I'm cool with that, man. Honestly, even if that's my tax dollars giving them the full back pay, that doesn't bother me one bit. Here's some turning on the water in California. I thought this was a pretty cool clip.
And, support what I'm doing, because what I'm doing, I guess, is controversial. I don't know what's controversial about sending millions and millions of gallons of beautiful fresh water from the Pacific Northwest and further up than even that into an area that's bone dry. We have to, I have a house in Beverly Hills, and you get notices every once in a while. They want you to go down to 38 gallons per person or something, per house, per person. I say, you mean you can only have, 38 gallons sounds like a lot. It's not a lot. and they want to do that every once in a while, and you just think it's ridiculous when you have like just about as much water as anybody in the country, and we shouldn't be in a position where you have tumbleweed that's dry as a bone. That even tumbleweed can be nice and green and rich and loaded up with water, and it's not going to burn. You don't even have to remove it. It's not going to burn, but it's just dry. So I hope you can all get together and say, I'm so happy with the water that's going to be flowing down, because I just don't see anything. They talk about the Delta smelt, which is a fish that's this big, but it is really not, doesn't have to be protected because it's in other areas. It's in numerous other areas. So it doesn't have to be protected. The people of California have to be protected.
Well said.
Mr. President.
Well said. The title of that executive order, man, is the best thing.
Yeah, let's go to that real quick. Let's actually go to the White House website through that link.
Yeah, hold on. I think I just had it. I have to find it real quick. Yeah, here we go. This is the official title of this executive order: putting people over fish. it's just the dude's awesome, bro. Just why wouldn't he title it that, man? Putting people over fish.
I love the way he did. I love the way he always describes everything. Like the water.
It's beautiful.
It's
water.
the best water.
Yeah.
It's the most beautiful water. Everybody says.
Yeah, beautiful water coming down. There was a clip I tried so hard to find for this in particular subject, and I could not find it. It made me so upset about it because it was hilarious. Where the guy who he's talking to over there is some California representative or whatever, and he's like, "Well, Mr. President, we would love to handle these fires, but we're looking for resources, and it's just going to cost money. We have to find the resources." And Trump cuts him off. He goes, "Like water." He's like, it's a fire. Here's what your resource is, dummy. Water. Yeah, bro. I looked so hard for that clip. I couldn't find it for this episode. But oh man, he's putting people over fish. It's just little Delta smelt. It's this big. Yeah, it's just common sense stuff, man. Yeah, it's such a common sense thing that the fish doesn't need to be protected in this scenario. The people do. People losing their homes, and some of those lots of land. I don't know if this has been updated, so somebody please feel free to let me know. But last I checked, some of that land was being taken to being used for government housing agencies now. That's land that people own. Those are your homes, And because of fish, you lost that, and it's just silly. All right, conspiracy time.
California is a paradise, and they've ruined that place.
Exactly
it's
right.
A shame. It's an absolute shame.
It is a total shame. All right, tinfoil hats on, because it's about to get crazy in here. This is Trump signs the executive orders to disclose the JFK assassination files.
Okay.
Lastly, sir, we have an executive order ordering the declassification of files relating to the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
That's a big one, huh? A lot of people are waiting for this for years. For decades. And everything will be revealed. Okay? Give that to RFK Jr.
Yes, sir.
Give that pen to RFK Jr. That's so cool.
Yeah, that was the coolest part about that.
That's cool,
now,
man.
That's a good thing, okay?
Yeah.
Now, there's something that's really been bothering me, and Bronson can tell you we have a family group text. I was spamming about this when I found out. I was highly upset. Can we pull up the thing?
Mm-hmm.
Now they're releasing these files. He signed it, but now they're having a task force. Go over the declassifications. I don't want a task force.
Me neither.
JFK was killed so long ago. What could you possibly have that's still going on that needs to be protected? Release everything to the public, unredacted. Release it all. There's no reason to have any kind of a task force. I don't care what they say. There's no reason to have it unless you're trying to cherry pick what you put out there.
Right.
I'm really afraid that they are gonna cherry pick and give a bunch of false information because they're giving out tidbits like, "Oh, there was a second shooter." Really? No.
Yeah. Oh, shocker.
Yeah, it's like when you're trying to talk about nuances of religion, like, well, Jesus was a Jew. It's like, really?
Yeah.
Because grass is green, the sky's blue.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, Captain Obvious.
My concern isn't so much with the JFK stuff. Like, my thought is, although I do agree with you, I lean more into the concern of JFK, RFK, MLK. We may get all the truth on that, but this big one here is the Epstein list and 9/11. Those are the two big ones on this.
Yeah,
those
Epstein list is pretty big. And Kash Patel, we're recording this on the 20th. Kash Patel has been confirmed today, and he is promised to release the Epstein list.
I sure hope that we get the whole thing.
See how that goes. But I can guarantee you right now, and if I'm wrong about this, and I hope I am, I'll say I was dumb and I was wrong. You're not getting the 9/11. You're not getting any of that.
No.
You're going to get something so heavily redacted, it's unbelievable. They cannot tell you the truth. They cannot tell you the truth about 9/11. You're going to have to go find that for yourself.
Right.
They are not going to tell you the truth about that. There is no way. Geopolitically, it would shake up everything they tell you in Washington all the time.
Right.
They're not going to do that.
Yep. And maybe 50, 60 years from now, the same way we're talking about JFK. But even then, it's like, man, that's a big, big, big deal.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think that this task force is for the JFK, RFK, and MLK.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what I think this task force is for.
Okay.
I think it's to obstruct on that 9/11 file, because the Epstein one is like, that's stuff that's got to come out. Okay. I think it's going to come out in some shape or form. I don't know if you'll get the whole thing. I believe that this is for the 9/11. That's why this task force is here, is to block and obfuscate on that. Because that's the big one.
Yeah.
That was the world changer. That was the, that was the changing of the guard. It was more than an attack. It was a symbol.
Right. Exactly. And changed everything, man. We've had would love to have some answers on that, but it's hard to believe that they're actually going to do it. It's very, very difficult.
All right, we're getting into some of the nominations and stuff. We talked about Kash Patel just now, and he was confirmed today with a 51-47 vote. We also got some more good news today. Mitch McConnell is retiring and won't run for office anymore. So
no
big
way.
cheer for that.
Really?
Yeah, it's been a good day, man. Kash Patel's the FBI director, and Mitch McConnell's retiring.
Wow. Mitch McConnell is retiring. Unbelievable.
Yeah, man. Only 15 years too late.
After 200 years of service. That's insane.
Man. Can't be mad at him. I mean, he is 476 years old. He's probably the 300-year-old.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. It's too funny, bro. So we've had some good people added to the team. I know you may be more excited about some other members than I am, and vice versa. But who out of all the people on the team that Trump's put on, who do you think you're the most excited about? Would you give it to Pete?
Well, I was most excited about Matt Gaetz.
Mm-hmm.
Really excited about Matt Gaetz. And the person I'm most excited about, RFK is up there for me.
That's my one. That's my top, no doubt.
Yeah. I see. My problem is man, I'm a pessimist, and I look into these people so much. I have things that I don't like about all of these people.
Oh yeah, me too.
Matt Gaetz was the one that I liked the most. He didn't take any AIPAC money, and if you really want to dig deep, Matt Gaetz saved this country, not just Florida. Matt Gaetz saved this country. He went out in the street and was stopping ballots coming in being counted against DeSantis in Florida. Okay, and without DeSantis in Florida and that leadership down there during COVID, and that pushing back on that, I think that really went a long way to save this country from the tyranny that the WHO and the elites wanted to put us under here. I think that was a big thing, and that was Matt Gaetz stopped fraudulent ballots from being counted. In Florida. You can look into that story, and I think I see Matt as a hero because of that.
Wow.
Also, I like that he doesn't take AIPAC money. Do you know how much courage is one word, but really just
integrity.
It's a lot. Integrity, really, to not accept money, because that's a lot of money, man.
Yeah.
Him and Thomas Massey are the two of the only ones that I know of that don't take any from him. So that's big with me. Maybe I'll go with Pete. I like Pete. I think having a war fighter as the head of the Department of Defense is big time. I think it'll go a long way towards culture. You've already seen the effects. This past month we've had the highest recruitment numbers for the Army in the past 20 years.
Wow.
It's already happening. Yeah, bringing masculinity back to it, bringing a sense of realism. He's not some guy that was on the border of Raytheon and bounced back and forth between all these, military industrial complex, positions. He's a war fighter, an imperfect guy, but a guy that's a war fighter. And I like the Deus Vult tattoo and all that. Don't get me wrong, and that's all good and everything. But the culture of the military is a big thing, because when you get in dire straits in a country, and it comes down to two opposing forces that cannot coexist, the military is the deciding factor. So the culture of the military, when you're in a country that's divided, is of extreme importance.
Wow, that's going to be a good thing, man. I'm excited to see that. Well, here he is right here. This was the biggest line that I think he had, at least the one that went the most attention during his hearing.
In other words, you're quite sure that every general who serves should not go directly into the defense industry for 10 years. You're not willing to make that same pledge?
I'm not a general, Senator.
You'll be the one, let us just be clear, in charge of the generals. In other words,
bro, she's so annoying, dude. So annoying. Yeah. I love this guy's face next to her though. He's like, God, this will never end. The dude to the left of her, he's just. Oh, God.
You'll be the one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Old Pocahontas.
They call her Pocahontas.
She's terrible.
Dude, she's the worst. Can't stand her. Here's my guy. Here's my number one right here, bro.
Can you just repeat the last part of the question? Can I commit
You're
to
not going to take money from drug companies in any way, shape, or form.
Who? Me?
Yes, you.
Oh. Yeah, I'm happy to commit to that.
Okay, good. That's what I figured. I said it's an easy question to start with. And I think you're right on this question.
I don't think any of them want to give me money, by the way.
Let's keep going.
He did such a great job the whole time, bro.
The back and forth between him and Bernie Sanders was hilarious.
Oh, I know,
He called Bernie out for taking the most big pharma money than anybody, and Bernie just lost it.
It was only $2 million.
Have there been any more than a spineless sellout?
Oh, God.
Just coward than Bernie Sanders? Has there been anybody that's been more of a spineless sellout coward?
So sad.
I mean, was it worth the 3 houses, Bernie?
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly.
God.
He is
bow down and take it from Hillary Clinton, but to take it from Joe Biden too, and then sit there and support that garbage. God, ugh.
No, he's the worst. The one thing I liked about him when I was young was
had a lot of good people down.
Yep. When I was young, I was like, well, at least there's something different. You know, when I was, I don't know, I guess I was 16, whatever it was when he was running. I didn't agree with anything that he had to say, but I was at least like, okay, at least we have something more to the table. It's not just two options now. I've always hated that about, you know, they give you, here's your two choices, A and B, and you get to pick something. And it's like that for everything. It was always, you know, you only get two options for anything. You either get open borders or whatever the other side wants to do that week, whether it's build a wall or make them terrorist or whatever. And you just have to pick. Like, you can't find any middle ground. Like, it's like I really get no say or representation within my government. I just have to just pick the option. And so when I saw him out there, I was like, well, maybe this will open up the door for at least just some other options. It never did, of course, but yeah, he's a sellout, man. Couldn't stand it, and it took all that money for Big Pharma.
We talk, since we're talking about it, let's talk about how big of a scumbag he is. When the DNC stole the nomination from Bernie Sanders in 2016, and to be honest with you, I believe Seth Rich was murdered over exposing it. Do your homework there, look into Julian Assange in the interview and how he described it, and see what you think. Tulsi Gabbard went to bat for Bernie Sanders. She was the vice chair of the DNC and resigned her spot. Stood up for Bernie Sanders. When she was with the DNC, she did not endorse a candidate because she thought it would be unethical to, but she dropped out, gave up her position at the DNC, and endorsed Bernie Sanders because of how they did him. Bernie Sanders, in turn, this past week voted no to confirm Tulsi Gabbard after her throwing away opportunities and laying her career on the line to stand up for what she believed was right for Bernie.
Wow.
Bernie voted no.
Wow. Yeah, that's no loyalty.
Bernie, yeah.
That's insane.
No, he's a scumbag. He's a scumbag commie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll always be a scumbag commie, and he's not even a real commie. He's a crony commie. He's like a crony capitalist.
Right?
Commie.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, it's weird.
Say all this commie stuff in public, but he'll take his buyout of 3 houses and his payoffs and his backroom deals, and he'll stab his friends in the back.
Yeah,
he gave up a lot of things to have his back. But when it comes time for them to return the favor and to be intellectually honest and honest with their constituents, he's not. He did what he's told to do. He's a coward, he's a backstabber, and he's a traitor.
Yep. No, I agree 100%, man. It's been really good to see all this stuff coming to light, man. It's been good to see a couple of good lines take place between Pete and RFK. Tulsi Gabbard's in there. Cash got confirmed today, like you said. It's 1,000 executive orders, Doge, all sorts of stuff. 20% maybe coming back in our pockets, maybe not, we'll see. So this has all been 1 month. We're right at the 3-hour and 3-minute mark of recording right now, and it's been just 1 month, and we still haven't even touched on everything. There's still so much more that we could have talked about tonight.
There's a lot we left out. We could have added on to a bunch of stuff, and I'm sure we'll cut little bits out because I know I rambled a lot, and I always do.
But, it's good though. Everything was really, really good. I mean, I'd hate to even remove any of it, to be honest with you. I thought every bit of it was worth speaking about.
We don't have to. It's just a long video, but there's just so much going on, man, and we really cut a lot of it out, and we put this material together 2 days ago, and some of it almost feels dated because it just moves so fast.
You're right. Right.
But we'll add it into month 2 video if we do that.
Yeah, exactly.
If you guys this video, we'll do a little more political stuff.
I enjoy it. I think it's fun.
That's all the clips and stuff we had, but there's just so much going on. Some of the things we can look forward to coming up from Ancient Echoes is we're going to be doing our Bible commentary on Genesis coming up. Chapter 18 is coming soon. I would suggest a lot of you guys go back and watch the Society of Sorcery videos. Those are really good, and they were shadow banned to death. The reach that we got on those was a fraction of what we usually do. Very, very, very in-depth videos into the Society of Sorcery that we were forced to live around. We also have the video coming up about we're going to call it Jezebel in the pulpit.
Right.
Cover a lot of the false teachers that are out there, and this fake Christianity and this fake gospel, and with this watered down, feminized gospel that they're trying to preach to people that has no basis in fact or Christianity or the teachings of Jesus or any in the New Testament, Old Testament. It has no factual basis.
Right.
We're going to be covering that, and we got a lot of stuff coming up for you guys. We have a lot of things in the works and planned out and everything else. It's just life is crazy, and making time is tough sometimes. So just bear with us. We're going to be putting things out, hopefully at a little faster rate than what we have. But we have a lot of stuff coming up, so just stay tuned, guys, and we'll be getting it out very, very shortly.
Absolutely, man. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited about it. I wouldn't mind doing some more political stuff. Actually, if you guys are interested in doing it, I would like to live stream it so we can have conversations with you guys at the same time. I think it's a whole lot of fun to get discourse going back and forth because, like you said, some of the stuff feels already dated. You know what I mean? And it was just put together the day before yesterday. So it's nice to have lots of people have ideas on things, and you may have heard something about AI that I haven't heard. You may have heard something else, and it's just so much fun to do that type of stuff together, man. I've grown addicted to the live streaming since we started doing the Solely Switch stuff, and we've had a couple live streams at Ancient Echoes. It's so much fun just to be involved with your community in real time, and and since we're talking politics, there's going to be some trolls in there. So who doesn't want to, flame a troll and roast a troll or two while we're out here doing an Ancient Echoes video? That sounds like a great time. So
the thing about trolls in a live chat is that we have access to the screen share and the world's complete collection of knowledge.
Yes.
We will just pull it up and show you why you're wrong.
Dismantled. Yes, exactly right. Dismantled. So how much fun is that?
You know what? Sometimes we'll be surprised and we'll find some stuff, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, always being the man of reproof.
By the way, I'd like to get into a little bit. Well, we'll talk about it later on, but we found some interesting things when looking on the list of the world's richest people.
Yeah.
Going back a few decades, some mysterious people disappearing, and not a whole lot of information out there, but that's just a little teaser. We're working on something and kind of looking into stuff right now, but it's going to be good.
Absolutely, man. Wow. It's very exciting. It's only been 1 month. We still got 3 years and 11 months to go. And this is the content president, man. And I'm so glad we have someone who's entertaining. The best part about Joe was him eating ice cream and falling off a bike, man. There was nothing else to do. It's just boring. But at least this guy keeps people involved. We got parties going on. Food's going to be real food again. So there's a lot of good things to look forward to. And Ancient Echoes is going to be here documenting as much of it as we possibly can. Like Austin said, keeping up with the Bible commentaries and all that good stuff. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun putting it together with Austin. Austin, thanks so much for hanging out with me. It's a 1:41 in the morning on a Thursday, man. So we'll call it a night, get some rest. And guys, we appreciate you so very much. And we will see you all next time on Ancient Echoes.